I have always been here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, geeks, nerds, ambassadors, Suicide Squatters everywhere, and welcome to the Ambassadorial Wing and another Sunday evening Ambassadorial review. And hope you all are having a great weekend. Hope you've had a better weekend than I have. And glad that you're all here tonight. And as the thumbnail and the title indicated, tonight I'm bringing you all my thoughts on James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And to everybody that's in the chat, whether you've been talking with me, or you're just lurking, glad you're here tonight. George, just simply George, good to see you, bud. Glad you're here tonight. Hope you enjoyed the stream and hope you're having a good week. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had, like I said, hope you had a better weekend than me. And I will say one of the highlights of this weekend, I got to sit down last night after I got home from work after a very long and a very arduous shift, and flipped on HBO Max and watched James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And I have to tell you all just initially, and with full transparency, I did not see the non-David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad that came out a few years ago. I kind of passed it by because honestly, it just didn't seem appealing to me. But as we all know, a few years ago, we got word that Warner Brothers and DC approached James Gunn after he got released from Disney and Marvel Studios to do a film for them. And they offered him the opportunity to do a Suicide Squad movie. And I speaking for myself, and I imagine quite a few others, we were all excited over this news because James Gunn had done two, I feel, very solid and enjoyable and entertaining Marvel films from Marvel Studios, and that, of course, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2. And when we got word that they were pairing James Gunn with Suicide Squad, well, that is a recipe for potential awesomeness. And I have to admit, I didn't know what to expect because, like I said, I'm not super familiar with the whole concept of the Suicide Squad. I did do a little research into the comics and the teams and so on, and it's usually a rotating roster of lesser known villains or well known villains within the DC universe. And watching this last night, I didn't know any of these characters except for, well, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. But aside from that, and of course the main villain, Starro the Conqueror, I wasn't familiar with any of these characters. I didn't know who King Shark was. I didn't know who Ratcatcher 2 was. I didn't know who Bloodsport or Peacemaker or any of these characters really were. But I have to admit, James Gunn and the people that worked on this film, I feel anyway, that they gave us a good sense of who these characters were, what their backstories were, what their histories were, and honestly, by the time the movie was over, 2 hours and 12 minutes passed. It didn't feel like 2 hours had passed. I switched off my PS4, and Mama Baxter came into the living room, and she's like, "Well, what'd you think, honey?" I really enjoyed this. I did. And I didn't spoil this, but I will tell you all this will have spoilers in it. So just a heads up now, if you have not seen Suicide Squad, there will be spoilers in this review. So if you have not had a chance to see it, or spoilers aren't a big problem for you, buckle in because I'm going to give you my full thoughts on the movie, what I liked about it, what I was a little iffy about, and what I felt was really stellar about it. Because for me, there were really good parts. There were parts that were okay, but then there were some parts that the movie really shined. And to the chat, a good friend and a face I haven't seen in a while, Resident Justice, RJ. I just want to say, RJ, congratulations on winning your case against the saggy, shaggy, sad one. So, for those of you who don't know Resident Justice, he has a channel himself. It is simply called Resident Justice, and he was over on Saggy Melon's stream the other last night because Miss Melons accused RJ of breaking her PS4, and I say to that, well, hang on, I have a few new toys that I'm going to play with tonight. I have to say this to Miss Melons about her case. That's one big pile of Max. Just saying. But anyway, oh, it's going to be a fun night. No, yeah, RJ. Yeah. And hey, guys, those of you that are in the chat, if you're wanting to join me, I have pinned the link up top and everything. So if you want to come on and talk with me about Suicide Squad tonight or whatever, the link's there. You know, most of all of you know, you come in here, you're welcome to join me. So, but yeah, honestly, yeah, really. But yeah, honestly, just kind of getting into my initial thoughts on Suicide Squad. As I said, I watched the trailers, as most of you know, and I really enjoyed the I liked the trailers. They gave me a good sense of what the movie was going to be. And of course, you've got name recognition with James Gunn. And I say this, as I said on Twitter last night, Mr. Gunn, you are becoming, or you have become King of August in bringing out really solid, entertaining movies. And excuse me, I drank too much Dr. Pepper before I got started, guys, so I might be a little gassy, so sorry. But anyhow, that was... The movie started out a little differently than I expected, but of course, as I said, I had not seen the original the first Suicide Squad, but I have to admit, the opening caught my attention. I'm like, I wasn't expecting this, because one thing James Gunn does is he often does non-linear storytelling, but he does it very well. And I think what they did with this movie in certain respects was tell the story of this particular iteration of the Suicide Squad going to Corto Maltese, which nice Easter egg back to Batman 89, just saying. And they told this story about Suicide Squad going into Corto Maltese to take out Starro, the Conqueror. And I have to say, I loved the design of Starro. That, by far, that was one of many things I really appreciated, and I really enjoyed it. And I have to admit, when one of the analysts is singing there in the office or in the command center with Waller and the rest of the team that's doing all of the analytics for Task Force X, he's like, "We got some kaiju shit going on here, the director Waller." And I'm like, yeah, they kind of do. This is one of the few times where you have a kaiju in a comic book movie. That doesn't happen very often. But I have to admit, they handled Starro very well. The design of him, how he functioned, how he moved, and his, how do I put this? His alternate persona through the eyes of Polka Dot Man. That was something. Like, reminded me of my ex-mother-in-law. But I have to admit, the opening, for, as I was saying before, the opening to the movie was very unorthodox, but it caught my attention. And that's the thing I appreciated about it, is that it grabs you, it brings you in. You don't exactly know what's going on. Of course, you start in Savant's cell in I think it's Belle Reve prison. And can I just say, I I don't love Michael Rooker, but I love Michael Rooker in movies. And him as Savant, even though I don't think Savant got done dirty in how he died, but I'm like, this guy's supposed to be a badass, and he runs off like a little, well, like a little bitch, and gets his head blown off. And I'm like, I was just a little sad that we didn't get more Savant, but at the same time, I was okay with it. I was, because obviously they had a strategy for what they were going to do on this particular mission. You had one team that was kind of like the cannon fodder, the diversion, and then you had the main squad that was the actual team that was going to get the stuff done. And I have to admit, I kind of like that. Now, the thing I found interesting was that they put Harley Quinn on, and I'll get into Harley here in a little while, because I have to say, even though I didn't see her in the first Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie sold me as Harley Quinn in this movie. I'm like, I like you. You're a good character. You're funny. You're a little crazy. You're a little quirky, but I like you, and that for me is always a win. But I have to admit, the way they broke this movie down, how you got the flashbacks of the pertinent characters. I mean, obviously you had the one with Bloodsport played by Idris Elba, and I just gotta say, if Idris Elba is done at Marvel Studios playing, well, I know he's not going to be playing Heimdall anymore because, well, Heimdall got killed in Infinity War. But if he wants to do some more DC movies, his performance as Bloodsport, he sold me. He really did. And I have to admit, the design of his armor and how his armor functions as his weapons and so on, I really like that as well. I mean, talk about a guy that's never too far from his weapon. I can respect that. I really can. For me, I cannot speak more highly of Idris Elba as Bloodsport, or what was his name? Robert LaBeouf, I think it was, or Robert LaCroix, I think it is, something like that. But the thing I found interesting with Bloodsport was this guy's a mercenary. And evidently he hooked up with some lady, his daughter's mother, his baby mama, and they had a kid, and he didn't expect that. And he's like, look, I'm not cut out to be a dad. I'm not cut out to be a father. He's like, I'm not even cut out to be a leader. And Waller says to him, well, I will make you a leader. And in the end, she does, in a manner of speaking. But here's the crazy thing. During the course of the mission in Corto Maltese, he does become kind of a paternal figure to Ratcatcher in particular, because he sees her and he kind of sees his daughter. And the exchange between Bloodshot and his daughter when he's in the prison there, and she's like, Dad, I'm going to be going to trial because I stole a TV watch, essentially a portable watch. And he's like, how could you be so freaking stupid as to get caught stealing a phone watch? He's like, why do you want to watch TV on your wrist? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I was trying to do what I thought you would do. He's like, I'm not ashamed that you stole. He's like, I'm ashamed that you got caught. Which is not necessarily an undue response per se from someone who is essentially a career criminal. And to the chat, Tim Possible, hope you had a good workout at Death of Mirror. Hope those Night Sisters didn't give you too much grief. And we'll see you shortly, bud. Thank you for popping in. And always a pleasure, man. But, I have to admit, I like the dynamic between Bloodsport and Ratcatcher because, like I said, they developed a very familial bond, or a father-daughter bond because she's almost old enough to be his daughter, even though she had a dad. And fun fact, for those of you that may have missed it, Taika Waititi had a cameo as Ratcatcher 1 in the film. That was Taika Waititi. I was like, hey, I know that guy. That's like I said, it's Taika Waititi. And I like those little flashback scenes that we got with Ratcatcher when she's talking about her dad, even though they're kind of bittersweet because, well, obviously he ODs on drugs or whatever, and she's very heartbroken over that, which any child would be. But she starts to bond with Bloodsport, and he's resistant to it at first because he's like, he kind of reiterates what he said to his own daughter. He's like, I'm not the dad. I'm not a dad. I'm not a parent. He's like, I'm a killer. I'm a trained killer. But throughout the course of the film, oh, hey, here's a face I haven't seen in a long time. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the stream. You know him. You love him. The one and the only Mr. Aaron of Aaron Entertainment. Aaron, good to see you, my bud. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I just wanted to come on. I'll be back in a second. I just got exited a game I was just playing. So
okay. All right. Well, I'll keep her going while you're gone. So, but yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, dude. It's all right. So, hey, George is here.
Ironically, it was a DC game.
George, good to see you, bud. Aaron?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Doing pretty good. Can't complain. Just talk about Suicide Squad. So, fellas, I'm assuming you've both seen it.
Yep.
I saw it in theaters.
Okay. You know what? And here's the thing. Even though I saw it on HBO Max last night, I might actually... Oh, holy crap. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a brand new guest. His first time here on the Ambassadorial Wing. You can say... he exudes, or he resonates with justice. The one and the only Resident Justice. RJ, good to see you, man.
Yeah. Is this his first time on here?
Yep.
Is it? I thought I was here for the Quentin Tarantino thing. Remember you did that stream about Quentin Tarantino's films?
Yeah, I thought
you might have been. Okay, it's been a while since you've been here, though. But hey, still, it's what I said. Still true. So, RJ, Aaron, George, good to see you guys. So, hey, I've been going for a little bit now. Your thoughts on Suicide Squad? What'd you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was?
I loved it.
Okay,
I loved it. It was fun.
Good, George, RJ, your thoughts?
I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I've already watched it 3 times now, so.
Right on, man. Well, like I said, I watched it.
Show.
Well, like I said, I watched it on HBO Max last night, but maybe in a couple of weeks or so, when I've got another weekend off, if the missus are feeling up to it, we might actually go take it in a theater because we haven't. Last time we went to a theater to see a movie, it was to see this, and we had a good time. Don't misunderstand me, but I wouldn't mind going to the theater again, and I honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Suicide Squad. So. But
it's worth seeing it on the big screen. I saw it Saturday afternoon in IMAX. It was worth it for sure. Yeah,
I saw your post on Twitter about that, and I showed it to Madam Ambassador, and I was like, "Oh, RJ's going to IMAX to see it." She's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Cool." So,
yeah, because the IMAX theater is just like about 15, 20 minutes down the road, so it's like the closest theater to me. Like every time I go, I always go to IMAX because like my ticket prices have dropped significantly.
Dude, that's nice.
Yeah, because I used to be an AMC A-list member because of the pandemic. I just canceled it, so I just go selectively. But it's still not as bad as it used to be for cost-wise.
Oh yeah. So, well, hey guys, I've been like I said, I've been going for a little bit now. So, your thoughts on Suicide Squad? What'd you like about it? What did you thought was a little iffy, or if there was anything iffy? So, what'd y'all think? Oh, and just real quick before you all go, I just want to send a shout out to the chat. Familiar face, another DC fan. You love him, you know him. He is nothing if not truthful. The Truth 31. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good night, and thank you for popping in. So, anyway, all right, guys, your thoughts on Suicide Squad, and we'll just go around the horn. Aaron, we'll start with you, and George, and then RJ. So,
okay, so
cheers, gentlemen.
I liked the movie. I thought the action was pretty good. It felt the making it weighted R was the perfect move. I love the character development for basically the major Suicide Squad members. Since you all seen the movie, I'm interested in seeing more of Peacemaker now, because that's the Peacemaker show is apparently spoilers, guys. If you see that after credits, Peacemaker is going to take place after this movie. I love the surprise killings, not at the beginning, but like during the film, like Rick Flag. I knew there was James Gunn suspected there's gonna be some deaths, but I didn't think Rick Flag was gonna be one of them. I thought the others. I would say this: I didn't think a character like Ratcatcher would be this used in any form of on big screen TV, whatever. Just because even though in the comics Ratcatcher is a Batman villain, she's like the lowest. Ratcatcher is like the lowest on the totem pole of villains in the Batman lore. I didn't think this would ever happen. I would never see this coming ever with Ratcatcher. Even Polka Dot Man, maybe a lower tier villain too, but Polka Dot Man is more well known than Ratcatcher.
Oh yeah, totally. George, RJ, your thoughts?
So I got to see it in an Apex Theater. So an Apex Theater, for those who don't know, it's got like amazing sound quality, and it's like half IMAX, but it's not like pure IMAX, but it's got like great sound quality. It's at my local theater, and I loved it. I love the action. I love how James Gunn like put so much character development into these lesser known characters. Like I was expecting to resonate with characters probably like King Shark and Bloodsport because King Shark is voiced by Sly Stallone and Bloodsport's played by Idris Elba. I was expecting to love Harley Quinn because Margot Robbie is amazing as that character. Yes. Colonel Flag because I did see the 2016 Suicide Squad and I liked his character in that. But Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher 2 were the big surprises for me. Like these were characters that really won me over. Yeah. And the soundtrack, the pacing of the film, and like how like James Gunn uses those brief pauses, like when there's no action. Like I thought it was a great movie, and I'm gonna be honest, this is like tied for my favorite DCEU film with Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's how much I love this film.
Hey, I can respect that. So, RJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, I've always really enjoyed James Gunn's work with the Guardians movies, so I was always looking forward to this movie, but I kind of went in with like tempered expectations because like the trailers are okay, but not like, stand out to like, oh man, it's like going to be like the best thing ever. No, I walked in, I absolutely loved the movie. I thought it was fantastic start to finish. I think it's a very well made movie just from a technical standpoint, but I think ultimately, just like a lot of other James Gunn movies, has a lot of heart, a lot of great characters.
Excuse me.
It really makes you invested in these people, and like I said, I walked away. Like it took a minute for the movie to click with me. At the start, I was like, okay, I like the start of it. The second act was a little bit iffy at some parts. There's only like one gripe with the movie I have, which is like the whole Harley Quinn Luna thing. Not that I don't like the content, I think it's like slows down the pacing of the movie. But other than that, I think it's pretty much like it's really good. Like I really enjoyed the movie overall.
Yeah, well, and I have to agree here on this whole subplot or the both subplot, with Harley and the president or the new president of
Corto Maltese.
Corto Maltese. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that part was a little bit slow, but at the same time, it did serve its purpose of her taking out the president, or El Presidente, as I called him. And I have to admit, her whole escape from the building or the mansion, I'm like, flowers are blowing up behind her as she's just wasting all these guys. She uses Javelin's javelin. I gotta say, I love the design of Javelin's javelin. And she's like, I'm going to hang on to this because she's like, I feel like I need to use this. And then at the end, she's like, I now know what I'm supposed to do with this. And I thought, yeah, you're going to stab Starro in the freaking eye with that thing. And she did. But yeah, honestly, as I mentioned before, I had not seen the first Suicide Squad movie. I'm still waiting for the Ayer cut. I want to see what David Ayer did with his version, because I really don't want to watch a mishmash of what Ayer potentially did. I want to see what he actually did.
According to reports, somebody didn't know said that Warner Brothers looked at both cuts, and Ayer cut is not much better than the cut they chose. So they chose the one they felt was better. That's what I read. I still want to see it for take for myself, and I guess for you guys too. But that's what I read though.
But no, it's okay, Aaron. But I have to admit, just off this one movie, I liked the character of Harley Quinn. I did. I liked the character of Harley Quinn from the Batman the animated series. I liked her, but I like this take of her as well, because there are threads of the original Harley Quinn from the animated series that are in this, but they took her to a different extreme that I liked. She's crazy and she's goofy and she can kick ass and she's cute. I'll admit, she's cute. But I liked Harley's scenes. She's like, well, I could go back into and you can do the plan if you want to. And she's like, no, we've got other things to do. She's like, well,
I love that.
I did too. Yeah. Well, and I'm going to say this. I knew Harley could be brutal. I knew that she could be vicious, but the part where she strangles and breaks the neck of the one guy, the torturer, I'm like, the way she does that figure 4 around his head, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Harley can kick some ass.
He snaps
his neck, and you don't think someone as small as her could do it, but she did it. And well, hey, here's another familiar face. He is the master of all things nerdy of IT. He does his own nerdgasm streams on the tubes and everywhere across the board. The one and the only LDG of Geeks and Joy. Good evening, LDG. Good to see you, bud.
Why, hello.
Oh dear.
I love it.
So I heard what you were saying. Hello, big boy. How did you like my movie?
Yes, Harley, I liked your movie, although your voice is a little more bass than what I heard you last night. Do you have a slight case of laryngitis?
A little bit. I'm working on it. It was a rough production. I got to tell you, but I'm.
Oh my god!
I could I couldn't stop. I can't do this. Oh my god! What's up, guys? What's going on?
LEG, good to see you, man. How you doing?
It's very.
I was trying to stay in.
No, dude.
Trying to stay in role there.
Good. No, dude, it's all good. So, I'm assuming you got to see Suicide Squad as well.
No, actually, I'm gonna see it tonight, I believe.
Well, then you don't want to stick around. We're gonna be talking spoilers, dude. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Dude, I don't believe in spoilers. Spoilers only make me want to watch the movie even more.
Okay, well then, all right. Well, glad you're here regardless.
Absolutely.
And
so, how did you like the movie?
Being the guys, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
dude, did you shave? You look different. What did you do to your face?
I look different? What?
Yeah, you look different. Huh? You do not look like yourself.
What?
What the hell's going on here?
What are you talking about?
Okay, this is trippy. This is trippy. I like it, but it's trippy.
Come on now.
All right, you're free.
There's nothing wrong. What? I'm not.
All right,
I'm not any different. I have no clue what you're talking about. What is wrong with you?
All right, this is getting trippy. Oh my gosh, dude. You look like a member of the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh God! All right,
yeah, that I like.
I'm sorry.
I saw you on Chris's stream earlier. That I like. I wish you could do that to me.
Remember 4 years ago, there used to be that clown fetish where everybody dressed up like clowns to scare people?
No.
Tell me about it, man. There's some crazy shit in this, man. I'm loving. Oh, what the? Oh my god! Wow.
And I want to send a shout. I want to send a very respectful shout to a good friend of the channel, one of the smartest people I know on the internet, or on YouTube, or any place else, except for maybe Madame Ambassador or myself.
No.
The one that her ladyship, the master of quantum physics, Yvette Devil, Lady Devil. It is a pleasure. Good to see you. And also to the chat, and no, Deej, I am not going to kick LDG. I consider LDG a friend, and I don't kick my friends. Although I might kick you. Kidding. Deej, good to see you, man.
Yeah, he only kicks jackasses or donkeys. Oh wait, shit.
Okay.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh my freaking gosh.
I think you could join the Suicide Squad.
Oh, you look like Donkey. Oh, Deej, I would not kick you. I consider you a friend. I only kick trolls out of my chat, and you're not a troll. But anyway,
Yeah.
Getting back on track here. Suicide Squad. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking about Harley and the fact that she used a figure 4 leg lock to break a guy's neck. Now that was bad ass.
Oh, absolutely, I agree.
That's cool. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And I have to say, some of the kills in this movie, especially on the squad, they're absolutely brutal. I mean,
Yeah.
Levant gets his head blown off by the little exploding cap, and I'm like, oh, so that's how that works. And it just blew his head clean off. And then let's see.
Or at the beginning. They
Yeah.
totally trolled us. They trolled everybody because remember when they showed the trailer, and we thought the Suicide Squad team was gonna be like huge, but that was a total troll job by them. That's brilliant.
Yeah, but it was a good troll, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before you guys got in here. I was talking about the fact that you had the main team, and then you had like the truly expendable team, but you had Harley
The
Quinn.
Expendables 4.
And you Blackguard gets his face literally blown off. Mangal, she gets set on fire by a helicopter, and it's so horrific. It's so horrific, but it's beautiful.
But she shouldn't be, according to comic purists, right? That's not because she's like she's supposed to be like Mongol, and that shouldn't be able to kill her.
Well, yeah, isn't she like the daughter of Mongol or something, or like okay? And then of course Weasel can't even freaking swim, and they're like,
who the hell was Weasel? Seriously, like how's that?
Weasel was Sean Gunn. That's James Gunn's brother.
Really? But like, I know the actor, but like, what's the origins of Weasel? Seriously, like,
I honestly have
was
no
it a human?
idea.
Is it a human at one point?
To be honest with you,
I'm sorry.
I have no idea.
I'm sorry. That Weasel, if it was not human, that Weasel would not be alive. It would have been put down.
I have
right.
Well, I love the fact that
kill kids.
You're a werewolf.
You kill kids. You kill kids, and you're like an animal like that. You'll be put down. Technically, King Shark will be put down too, but you know it's a DC movie.
Okay, I gotta say it. I really liked King Shark.
Yeah, me too.
Nasana.
Oh, not away.
Not away. Thank you. Not away. Thank you, RJ. Yeah, not away. I love the. I have to say, not away. Book, hand.
Smart.
Now, was it the same King Shark from Flash? Did they make it really feel like it was the same one, or was it a completely different one?
Different, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this one's more lovable, but kind of not intelligent like the Flash one.
All right, so he didn't have his girlfriend around or anything.
No.
Well, not to mention, you've got Sylvester Stallone doing the voice of King Shark, and I have to say it, he did a good job.
They humanized King Shark in this. They humanized King Shark is obviously an animal, but they kind of humanize him. Like,
yeah,
like it's not.
George, you were going to say something, bud?
Oh no, I was mimicking the shark by going hand.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
I
and
love
I've got-
Sly Stallone, so that character I
who
love.
doesn't like Sylvester Stallone? I mean, seriously, it's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, he's always great and everything.
I got no problem with them.
Oh, I know.
I was just
I'm
upset
saying.
about the whole Will Smith thing, but besides that, I know I'm gonna have to get
Well,
past that part.
I like Bloodsport, but he kind of was a carbon copy of Deadshot in this a bit.
I mean, I guess they were like rummaging through because when Will Smith couldn't make it, they had to.
Yeah.
Luckily, they had another character that was basically the same damn character. Like that's a real
They
character.
kind of use his daughter.
It's not like
They
they
use
made
his
him up or
daughter.
anything.
They use his daughter.
not to
Will Smith's character had a daughter.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, during the movie, they talk about Peacemaker and Bloodshot. They're like, or Bloodsport, excuse me. And he's like, yeah, he's exactly like me. He does the exact same things I does. He's like, yeah, but I just do them a little bit better.
Yeah, and he's
okay,
like,
I'm
are
just
you pulling my leg? Because like you said, everyone on this team's here for a unique reason, but he has the exact same thing I do, the same backstory too.
But I have to say it. John Cena sold me as a wrestler, so to speak. Oh, hey, and here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, making his return appearance to the ambassadorial wing, the one and the only, Black Angus Reviews.
Hey,
Angus, my
what's
man,
up,
good to see you. It has been a long time. Good to see you tonight, man.
Yeah, I thought you were going at 7:30, and I'm like, wait, he's probably an hour behind me. And then I got
Yeah,
distracted
you're
watching Rick and
Central.
Morty.
You're Eastern. I'm Central. So yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I got
it's okay.
distracted watching Rick and Morty. I'm like, oh shit, maybe he already went live. So then I just haven't checked my Twitter, and I'm like,
Yeah, I checked
Rick
your
and
Twitter.
Morty's out.
So we're talking Suicide Squad, giving our thoughts on it and everything. I know you had a chance to see it, so Angus, your thoughts on Suicide Squad? What'd you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Yeah, I liked it. It's not as good as Guardians,
Mm-hmm.
but it is different for DC. I think it's definitely going to get the DC or the Guardians comparison because of Gunn. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, ragtag team of who the hell cares about these characters before, besides Harley, and
Yeah. Yes.
I thought he did pretty well. I thought he did good making like essentially a one-shot character who is famous for hitting Superman with a bullet, kind of the focal point of the movie, and pretty much shoehorning him in as like a Deadshot light and making him cooler.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cool. Overall, I really liked it. I like the gore. I like the gratuitous gore. I like the
Oh,
willingness to do
yes.
male and female nudity.
Yeah, I did notice that myself a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was very brief. A lot of people won't catch it, but yeah, I
I
liked it.
saw it and I was like, okay, if I can handle Dr. Manhattan, I can handle one brief 20-second shot of a guy's junk.
Yeah, I just wish it was like at least like a hotter guy or something where it's not just like some guy off the pot or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm trying to log into my computer right now.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Did you
You're
say
good.
you wish it was a hotter guy?
Yeah, just like
Who?
All right,
Didn't
LDG.
Okay.
Yeah, when they did.
well, if I'm going to see a naked guy, I don't want to see like a 5 out of 10. It's like I want to see the fucking Michelangelo's David or something. A Greek statue.
Okay.
Oh,
But yeah, I did that kind of for comedic effect. But yeah,
He did.
yeah, I thought Star was pretty cool. And
Oh,
how
yeah.
how the final team was to take them on. It's like, how the hell are they going to do this? And I really thought they were going to run away easy with probably the most powerful guy of the last remainders. And then they just threw him out really quick. It's like, oh crap! Oh, how are they going to beat this thing? So I don't know. I thought they did pretty well. I was actually most excited for this movie because Grace Randolph's spoiler-free review, and she's like, "Oh, misogyny," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is going to be great."
Misogyny?
Yeah, she said that
Misogyny?
So when
She
Waller
was
got
sad
knocked,
for the
yeah,
mom. She was
when
sad
Waller
for the
got
mom.
knocked out, and like she said that Waller would never have that happen to her, and she would kill all those people. But she said that her body lying on the floor, the implications was misogynistic in nature. I'm like, what the hell?
Crap! That's a lot of bullcrap. It was a woman who knocked her the hell out.
Yeah, it was a woman. It was.
I laughed so loudly in the theater when I saw that. I was like,
I'm like, yes, thank you. Somebody finally knocked her down.
It was a woman. It was second in command.
Yeah. Well, to quote Chris Tucker from Friday, you just knocked the F out.
I thought the misogyny was referring to Harley Quinn into president,
well, that too. But she said that the Waller thing was misogynistic. The fact that her body used to be lying on the ground.
She's going to do another Quaalude, and well, you know what? No, I'm just gonna say this about Miss Grace Randolph and her opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I like Grace.
Well, Max loves Grace, so
she's all over the place.
Oh no!
Or she could even do this. So, I got all sorts of toys uploaded tonight.
I like that one.
Actually, Mad Ambassador sent me that a few weeks ago, and I finally got
my
phone.
I was listening to Eddie's stream. You want to hear something even crazier than the misogyny? So Eddie was talking about this yesterday. I was listening to it. He said he was listening to a stream about making this this movie is racist and all that because they're all killing Latino people and everybody that's getting killed was Latino. And I'm like, they're in South America. The majority of people in South America are Latino.
Thank you.
Yeah, the same people cried about Game of Thrones for having Daenerys uplifted by a pale white woman raised on the hands of brown people. They made it like some race thing. It's like, well, what I intend in the book is a bunch of white people given the locale, but we're filming in Morocco, so you tend to get a lot of Moroccans to take up casting roles in Morocco.
Well, it was really funny too because there's accusations that the whole president thing. People were saying, "Oh my God, they put a rape scene in the movie."
There wasn't rape. She gave into it.
It was consensual.
Yeah, she was like,
passionate love.
She actually fell for the guy.
She wanted him up in her. For heaven's sake.
What about the Joker, guys? You know who she was with? These people are like, she was with the Joker, right? What the Joker did to her is much 1,000 times worse than this guy did nothing
I'm
to
just
her.
saying, when you actually watch the movie for yourself, and then you go back and watch Grace's spoiler review, it's like nothing makes sense. Nothing adds up to the actual movie.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is she's a Snyder shill, and I like Snyder.
Yes.
But as soon as she's like, I don't know, I think I'll give it a rotten, or I don't know.
Well, she said she didn't want to give it any score because she said it wouldn't matter, and she doesn't want to get harassed by people.
She gives me as a fake. She gives me a fake DC Marvel comic book fan. I don't know. There's something about her I just don't buy.
Yeah. Didn't she shrill for Wonder Woman 1984 as well?
Well, she did, but she said that she took the complaint seriously. So when people didn't take her complaint seriously, it's like, well, I stood by you guys when you were complaining about Steve Trevor when you guys said that was rape. So when I have concerns about this, you guys don't listen to me.
Yeah, but
she was saying.
Honestly,
that's not rape. That's consensual.
Yeah, yeah. What Harley Moon did was completely consensual.
What Joker did to Harley, that's. What Joker did to Harley, that's compared to that. Just compare that, guys. Just compare to the Joker.
I'd rather, but I will say this:
I'll be right back.
Harley's. He must.
He fell. She fell for until she heard him say about killing kids. That's when she turned.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not buying that. Yeah.
No, she's not. She might be evil. She might kill people, but she's like, no, you ain't gonna harm no little kid.
She has a conscience. She has a conscience. Yeah. I think that president is has bad intentions, but I think he actually did really care for Harley.
No, I don't think he did. I don't think he really did. I think because the generals always said like, "Oh, this guy's a romantic," He's he's
a ladies' man.
Yeah, but he's a ladies' man. Yeah, he doesn't really care.
I guess that's fine, bud.
Yeah, okay, but yeah.
But, you know,
I see people say, "Oh, now she talks about caring about kids because she helped Joker kill Robin." You know, she regretted killing Robin, right?
Well, so that might not even be
as
canon
I understand
anymore.
it, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It might not even be canon.
Well,
That's
for
true.
heaven's sakes, it says on the back of her. It says on the back. Now, I'm going to say this: her costume design. I mean, especially her suit at the beginning of the movie when they're going into Coach Maltese. I love the design of her like leather armor. That was badass.
Yeah.
And it says,
I wish you would have kept that the whole movie.
yeah, I did too, but honestly, I liked the dress too, and she really used it. I have to say it. She has one of my all-time favorite hallway scenes. First is, of course, Vader's. Second, of course, is Luke's. And now Harley Quinn has a hallway scene, and it's beautiful.
I know, everyone gets a hallway fight scene these days.
Yeah, but you know what? Hers was, while Luke's and Vader's were very epic, hers was funny.
I just want to know who trained Harley this, because she was a doctor. Like, who trained Harley all this? It's like, seriously, because you wouldn't think about.
She could.
Joker didn't train her because Joker doesn't have kind of combat ability stuff like that.
Well, if you think about it,
when you're the Joker's right-hand woman, you kind of got to know how to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it's partially.
I know she did gymnastics. She knows gymnastics. I think in a character in the comics or in the TV show, I think she did gymnastics.
That's possible too. The thing I will say
I think she
is
went on like
probably,
a scholarship in the.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I'll say is she might look her fighting style might look very stylized, but honestly, I think it's kind of catch as catch can. She's just really graceful at it because, well, as she said, she's a gymnast. But when she's packing those two M16s and she's running down that hall and blasting all those soldiers, I'm like, Harley Quinn, you kick so much ass. You're getting right up there next to Sarah Connor. Holy crap! Could you imagine her and Sarah Connor kicking ass? I think I just had a geekasm.
Oh my!
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd be totally down to see that.
Oh my! But I have to really admit, I was surprised at the direction they took with the teams and everything. And y'all mentioned before, it was kind of a troll that kind of made you feel like it was going to be the whole team, but it turned out it was just going to be one small portion of the whole squad that was recruited that actually goes after Starro. And James Gunn doing what James Gunn does best, using the environment to spell out what's going on in the film. Like, first it's Operation Harley, and then it's Operation Jotunheim. Yeah. And he uses junk on the top of a roof to spell out Jotunheim. And I know James Gunn gets crap for some stupid things he did on the internet, but removing all that stuff, the guy just knows how to make really fun movies. I do.
He really does.
You know, I said this before y'all got in here, and I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. I feel James Gunn is slowly becoming the king of August, because if you think about it, I think both Guardians movies came out in August, and now you've got this. And
I think two came out in May. I think Guardians of the Galaxy came out in May, though, of 2017.
You might be right. But
it did, but he kick-started the franchise in August, because August before Guardians, the August release date, they never released big movies back in August.
August, September. August, September were dead movie release date.
And the first Guardians absolutely just kicked. He caught lightning in the bottle. Now I know that theaters are still not at full capacity and everything, but I will say this: I would imagine that this movie will probably be very, very profitable for Warner Brothers and for DC. And I, for one, if they ever want him to come back and do another Suicide Squad or do anything along the same vein, do like another comic book movie, but maybe do something a little bit different from this.
Oh,
I say let him do it. Totally.
During the waiting room today, we were looking up some articles. They have an article about what was it? Suicide Squad versus Justice League,
Oh, really?
and that it's possible. Now, they were saying certain things like it's possible that's already in production, or it being related to Cavill. There was an article. You can find it if you go to google.news and just look up Suicide Squad. It's one of the articles that were released today. But I guess there was some buzz about it, some on-screen buzz about it too.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't know if that'd be interesting to see. I don't know what the Suicide Squad can do against the Justice League.
Oh, fuck.
But
it would have to be like the B or C listers of the Justice League. It can't be the A team. It can't be the A-listers.
You know what? I see people complaining about this movie. Why wasn't Superman there to fight Starro? Why wasn't Batman there? Why wasn't Justice League? And I'm like, guys, it's not about them. It's not about them.
Suicide Squad.
Those characters will overshadow the Suicide Squad. It's not about them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
only other thing I wanted to ask before I go to see the movie here,
sure.
I know about the ending,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they fight a kaiju, for God's sakes.
Yes.
But the last, now I saw the first Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. I loved Suicide Squad. I thought it was awesome. I just thought the ending was slacking, even with the ending the way it went. How do you guys rate the ending on this one now? Did they do better?
Yes,
because that's what I'm hearing overall. Even though they kind of went crazy with who they're fighting. I'm hearing good stuff that it was better than the first. So you guys would say the same thing?
Enchantress was a bad villain. I like the movie too, but Enchantress was a bad villain. Starro was a much better villain. Much better.
Okay. George, Angus, RJ, your thoughts? And now
it's a much better executed third act fight.
Yeah.
Much better.
I agree with Aaron. Starro is a much better villain. When I saw Starro in the trailer, I was actually concerned, because as much as I love the first Guardians, I did not care for Ronan as the main villain. That was my only concern with the first Guardians film. But Starro, I was very impressed with what James Gunn did with Starro. So I thought this was a much better ending.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it actually pumped up and excited too.
Yeah, it was actually like not that I was like scared, like, oh, I'm crapping my pants. I was like, oh, this is a scary villain if it gets off the island. If it can hive outside, like, how do you stop this thing? And what's funny is because I was binging the last season of Rick and Morty. It's out. They actually had an episode based off of Starro. So it's funny seeing that after watching this movie for the first time. It's like, oh, I just saw something like that. So that's crazy. But yeah, I thought they did much better. Enchantress, it just felt wonky, especially like the brother character beast thing or whatever, and it's just like, what? And then Will Smith in the shot, it was awful.
Yeah, I couldn't stand Enchantress. I mean,
the
actress is not even a good actress either. Cara Delevingne is not good actress.
Just speaking for myself, I mean, Grant, like I said, I have not seen the Suicide Squad that came out back a few years ago, but just on this, based on this, if I were to put this ending fight against, say, maybe like, we'll just compare it to like Guardians 1 and 2, I'd say it's just as good. Maybe it's good, but it may not be as good as, say, like the ending fight for Guardians Volume 2. Although, because I have to admit, the ending fight for Guardians Volume 2, it was really, really good. This was it was a satisfying. It was fun. It was well paced and well formatted for the end for the final confrontation between the rest of the squad and Starro. So yeah, I was happy with it. Very satisfying resolution to the whole thing. So
you could say Starro is technically the main villain, but the main villain might be Amanda Waller, because you really find out the truth about Starro and how America is really responsible, not the people on the island. And America has secretly hidden Starro and experimented Starro on subjects and stuff. With the thinker there, you could really say Amanda Waller might be actually the real main villain of this movie. Because remember, she also said, "Don't bother going after Starro. That Starro will do whatever destruction he does."
Yeah, it's kind of meta commentary.
Yeah.
Like, I was very interested in that because of what Grace's review was going into it, where she said like, "Oh, like I thought it was very irresponsible to like what the political commentary." So I was like, "Oh no, they're gonna do BLM or something, on the nose." And I watched them like, "Oh, this is something that pretty much any big power has its hands in. Like America gave weapons to Osama, and then that came to bite us in the ass later. That kind of storytelling." I thought they did well, where it's like, oh, it's something that like you might know about in history, but it didn't feel like, like fuck America or something. So I thought it was fine. I thought it was a very unwoke movie. I thought it wasn't pandering to anyone. It's just like, let's tell a fun movie.
Yes, I have to agree. But yeah, honestly, speaking of the whole dynamic between Waller and the squad, I mean, I had seen scenes or clips of Waller from the first one when she's done with the other members, when she's recruiting the other squad. And seeing her in this, she seemed just a little more unhinged, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
There's times where she did look like she was thinking a little too much, but Amanda Waller is Amanda Waller. She gets what she wants, and unfortunately not this time. Amanda Waller is like, to me, she just cares about power.
Pretty much, yeah. But LDG, I know you gotta go, bud. And hey, thanks for stopping by, and I hope we whet your appetite for Suicide Squad.
Thanks for pumping me up, man. Yeah, totally. Like I said, man, thank you so much, guys. I'm going into this with an ease of mind, knowing it's not going to suck like Endgame. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Be good. LDG of Geeks Enjoy. Love you. I'll let you guys know how it is after.
Peace, bro.
Hope you enjoy.
Full presentation.
Wait. LDG.
Yeah, he's got.
Wait, LDG doesn't like Endgame.
The LDG is hit and miss on Marvel on certain things. I mean, he didn't like WandaVision, which, hey, you know what? It's his prerogative. He doesn't like it.
No,
he doesn't
of course. Everyone's gonna have their own different opinions on stuff.
Curious. But yeah, I have to admit, if this is the first offering from Hamada in terms of what he's going to be doing with DC, he's gained a little bit of maybe not respect, but he's gained a little bit of credibility. Because they let James Gunn come in and pretty much play. It didn't like WandaVision.
You can tell this is James Gunn's cut. This is not like there's not like a James Gunn cut out there. This is
a complete full movie.
Yeah, this is his cut. So there's not gonna be a hashtag release the James Gunn cut.
Yeah, my only thing is that I'm hesitant to say I'm like fully deep in on Hamada just yet.
Yeah.
Next year we got the Batman, and really, from what I understand, the Flash is really his pet project. That's the big movie they're hedging their bets on to like really direct the future of the universe. If that movie connects and that movie's good, then maybe
Well, like I was saying, he gained a little bit of credibility. I'm not completely all in. I'm not putting all my chips on him, but I will say, considering that he is an executive producer on this, as was Zack and Deborah Snyder, for all the people out there who are still living in a little bit of denial, particularly ones that wear a cheap knockoff Dr. Doom mask.
Oh,
I don't know if you all saw the little video I put out last night after I watched James Gunn. I called Max out. I did.
I like Max, but yeah.
I like Max too, but you know what? I'm going to call him. Say again, Black Angus.
Can you give me a rundown? I did. I missed that.
Oh, the little. I just sent out a little video saying, "Hey, I just got done watching James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Really enjoyed it. Going to be doing my review." And I called out. I said, "Hey, Max, why don't you bring your butt over here to the Ambassador and let's talk. Let's talk about Suicide Squad instead of you circle jerking with the rest of the Snyderverse as you watch the Justice League for the millionth time, using your own tears to wank your knob."
Ooh.
Yeah, watching this movie, I thought it was funny because I'm watching this like they have that thing, executive producer Zach and Deborah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they said Deborah,
yeah.
but definitely Zack Snyder. I'm
Yeah,
like,
Deborah.
oh,
Deborah's in
how's
there.
this
Yeah,
gonna
they
work with
both
all
were.
the Snyder shills crying? Because
Yeah.
part of this.
Some we even went far
I
to
like
the
Zack Snyder.
pedophilia.
Conspiracy theories on Twitter are bizarre, like with that thing with their names being mentioned in the song choice or something.
Yeah, their
What?
name as executive. Yeah, because during the song that plays, they mentioned Bobby hung himself, and as they
Yes.
said hung himself, Zack Snyder and Deborah Snyder's were there. So some people were accusing the film of being antagonistic towards them and their daughter that committed suicide. I'm
Oh
like,
my
Oh,
fuck.
Tim's here. All right. And hey,
They're becoming
everybody.
more. They're becoming more toxic day by day.
yeah.
Like not.
Ladies and
not the-
gentlemen, coming from the
Hey, Jim.
you're coming from my left, ladies and gentlemen, returning from the far reaches of Dathomir. You know him, you love him, Tim Possible of Tim Talks.
You know,
Tim, good to see you,
you
man.
know-
What's up, Tim?
You
What's
know.
up, everyone?
You know what?
Welcome on,
I was
Tim.
listening to-
Dingus.
Hey Tim, how are you?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Good. You know, I was listening to John Campbell. He was doing a spoiler review on this movie, right? So you all saw the movie Misery, right, with Kathy Bates and James Caan?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's
Know
what
that movie
Snyder.
very well.
That's what Snyder toxic fans are. Because you know the premise of that movie, right? They killed off the main character, so she wants them to change that, right? That's what they are. They want to. They're all misery, like the toxic ones. Misery. I mean, maybe we should call them out misery on Twitter. Everybody, misery. Just tweet misery to them.
So, Tim, I am going to operate on the assumption that you have seen Suicide Squad. Your thoughts on it?
Yep. I saw it Thursday night in theaters.
Nice.
I got there super early, way far in the back, middle, my favorite seat. Theater wasn't not that packed, but they said Thursdays, I guess people are still kind of getting used to it. But anyways, I was not expecting it to like be that good because I don't like the first Suicide Squad. I thought it was just a hot mess, and the villain was pointless. The whole plot was pointless, but it was fun. It was fun, but it just, to me, there was no point. And Aaron mentioned about the actress, Cara Delevingne. She's not a very good actress. I mean, she is hot. She's very nice.
She's a model trying to be an actress.
Yeah. But no, like I was like pleasantly surprised. I thought it was fantastic, and I was not expecting it. They took like some risks that I didn't think DC would ever take. Like Marvel was never going to do something like this.
No.
Like the gore and how like in my non-spoiler review, I said pretty much what it was is like Mortal Kombat meets the Avengers or like Guardians of the Galaxy. Because like there's that scene where
but good Mortal
King
Kombat,
Shark
not the
just
crappy
rips that guy
2021 that we
apart.
got.
Yeah.
Right,
More
so
so
go
like,
ahead.
no, you're right. But no, like if I love the video games, and the stories in the video games are actually decent, and the '90s one will always have a place in my heart or whatever. It just it's more of a nostalgic thing, but it was Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
But yeah, I think Idris Elba is a better actor than Will or Grit. Like we kind of talked a little bit about it. We got off topic about Snyder or whatever with Black Angus and Zach. I knew it was going to come up because Zack Snyder did 300. But man, I really felt like, my major issue was maybe the pacing and the power scaling is always a thing for me in any superhero, like whether it's DC, Marvel, or whatever. Like with Harley Quinn, there's a scene where she kind of jumps up, but I know she's supposed to be like an Olympic level athlete. There's a scene where she like hops onto the roof or something. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, I noticed. That.
With ease.
Yeah, with ease. Yes, but no, that hallway scene was dope. Like I mean, with all the had her all little the effects in the background made sense because she is kind of Looney Tune, and she nails the role. But the big standout to me was Bloodsport, man. Idris Elba, he's a star, and I really did like the banter between him and his daughter. I know he is kind of like a knockoff of Will Smith or Deadshot, but I like the fact they kind of invented their own character for the movie. I feel like they should do more of that, especially if they're trying to hit like like include more representation and stuff like that. I feel like that you can't go wrong with that. And he blended well with all the other characters. I liked his his relationship with Captain Toilet Head, or John Cena's character, what he calls him in the movie.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Yeah.
Like the rivalry between the two.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool they brought in Bloodsport, because Bloodsport was from the Superman comics from like back in like the 80s, but he's like not really been that relevant of a character. So it's cool to see him bring him in, because like the Kryptonite ICU thing is
what made him relevant was that the Kryptonian shooting Superman. That what made him relevant in the movie. That one line is what did it for me, making him relevant. And that's
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the things made sense. Like with the spear at first, we're like when the guy dies, I don't even remember his name because he died so quick. But he gives her
which one? The javelin,
Yeah, he gives her the javelin. She's like, "What?" He's slapping him in the face when he's dead, or they're like, "What? You didn't finish your sentence." But they weave that into a plot well, and it makes sense to stab like a big Staryu, like if anyone that knows Pokemon, looks like oversized Staryu, and jabs it in the head. And I thought it was unique. I don't know much about that character, but I've seen it. I think it's succumbed Superman before in the animated.
It's the first Justice League villain ever.
And but I liked how it was just like water inside, and the rats seemed more relevant. And Taika Waititi, man, he nailed that. His cameo in there, I love that so much. I really felt the emotion on that. The action was great. It just maybe the pacing, the whole Harley Quinn story. I don't know if that really needed to be in there. But then, I mean, at first I was like, why are they doing this? But I guess it kind of did pay out, like some sort of arc, a change. You know, she's been in bad relationships. But really, did that segment need to be in there? I felt like it was more so they plugged that in there just to give her more screen time because she's a really popular character. Because really, I felt like it was
feel the same way.
Yeah. I really felt like Idris Elba. The story was more about like Idris Elba, Flag. Dude, I love Flag. Gosh dang it, he died. I was expecting to see him in the end credit scene because he said his heart stopped, or like it showed the damage of the heart, but he could probably still live. But then they bring back John Cena, and which is fine. He did great in the role, so I want to see the dynamic afterwards. So.
Like with Peacemaker, he got shot in the throat. Like, how do you survive that?
Yeah, he's gushing out.
It can be done. It can happen and everything, especially if he doesn't bleed out. He can survive that.
It's a comic book movie. They could come back from the dead.
Yeah,
but that too.
They showed Rick Flag getting stabbed in the heart though, until you know this guy's dead.
Like Angus, you're right. Lazarus Pit. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
that's true.
But you know, I have to say this. Okay.
All right,
RJ, I'm gonna let you have the last word before you dip. So, floor is yours.
Yeah, just real quick. I just want to say I really love the movie. It kind of sucks to see some people twisting the things around to like attack others for like not liking it or like enjoying it. You know, sucks to see that, but it is a great movie. I think it is definitely a step in the right direction for DC as a whole. And then, like I said, if James Gunn wants to make more movies like this, I'm totally on board. I really am.
Oh yeah, same here. So, well, hey RJ, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no, always a pleasure, dude. Thank you.
Same.
Take care, RJ.
So, I have to admit, I wasn't sure what to expect from John Cena because I have never really seen John Cena act in a movie before. I primarily know him from WWE, him being on there, doing his thing there. But I have to admit, he was good in this. Was he like? Is this like an Oscar-worthy performance? No. But for an action movie, for a comic book movie, it worked. His character worked. I liked him in this role. I thought he was very solid, and I think he could take this. I think honestly, I don't know if you all have seen any of the movies he's done prior to this. If you have, compared to what he's done before, how does this stack up to what he's done? Is this better? Is it on the same par or what?
Well, there's this. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember if it's Neighbors 2 or Cock Blockers. I can't remember, but there's like.
I think it's Cock Blockers. Is that the one with their parents and their kids, or
it's the one where he plays a drug dealer. It's the one where he plays a drug dealer really quick for like 5 minutes at the end. and they're needing something. And then he's like, "Oh, I got
I-
this, I got that, I got that." And he's like, "Oh,
I
what's
know
that?"
he's
I'm
in-
like, "Oh, Tylenol,
he's
you
in-
got a headache?" You know?
He's in Daddy Home. He's in Daddy Home 1 for like 5 minutes, and he's Daddy Home 2 for like more. With
I haven't
Mark
seen the second
Wahlberg,
one.
Will
one's-
Ferrell. He's in Cockblockers, I think. With that's the one where he's the parents of kids. They don't want to. They're trying to protect them from having sex. That's a comedy movie. That's with Ike Barinholtz and is it not Amy Adams? Leslie Mann, I think it is. He's in with. He's also in. I think he's in. Is he in Train? No, not Trainwreck.
He's in a comedy with that
Yeah.
blonde chick. He's love interest of her or something, right? I don't know who the chick is. She's a comedian.
Amy Schumer, is it?
Oh,
gross.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like,
That's it. Nope, I'm not watching that.
He's also he's in Bumblebee, but yeah, he's
Marine. He was good in Marine. That was his first thing. I thought he was decent. Like,
Yeah, I heard he
he's
was
getting
good.
better. He's getting better. He's like at The Rock says. Like The Rock wasn't like The Rock did a lot of action movies right early on. Like The Rock wasn't the best actor, but The Rock has become a very good actor as the more roles he's taken on, the better he's got. That's where John Cena is at the early stages of where The Rock was. Like Batista, for example, Batista's trying to be a better actor, but compared to The Rock and Cena from the WWE days, Cena and The Rock are more natural than Batista. And that's why I think they'll end up doing better at acting than Batista's will ever be.
yeah, they're more charismatic, and plus they're like, I feel like The Rock's a good-looking dude, and John Cena's a good-looking dude. They're both super jacked. I mean, Batista's jacked, but he's not as like captivating on screen. Like the
that's his weak point. His acting is weak compared to those two. Because if you watch WWE, those two, Rock and Cena. It's natural. Them Batista, the one thing he struggled with was the promos, and stuff like that.
Now I will be interested to see how Batista does in Dune, which comes out in a few months and everything, because he plays kind of an important character in that. So I'll be intrigued to see how Batista does in Dune as Raban. But I was not aware that there was a post-credit scene or a mid-credit scene for Suicide Squad, so I'll definitely have to go back and check that out and everything. Because I am now that I've seen this character of Peacemaker, I am intrigued to see more. I am, and you all touched on this, the dynamic between, or at least I touched on this. I want to get y'all's thoughts on it. The dynamic between Bloodsport and Ratcatcher. What did y'all think of that? Did y'all like that? Did they sell that? Did they sell that dynamic or that relationship, or do you think it was kind of weak?
I felt like a father daughter.
Yeah, I thought they filled in the roles of what they both lost. Like, Bloodsport hasn't really had a relationship with his daughter, from what you gather, and then she lost her father early on. And,
exactly.
Carried on. So it's like they kind of filled the void for each other in a forced way, literally. Like they're thrown together, and she's like so repulsive to him because of his daddy issues and like what her power is.
He's a terrible dad. He's a terrible dad. If you compare him to Deadshot may done some unethical things, but he actually cared about his daughter. Bloodsport, oh my god, total opposite.
Yeah, and his daughter cared for him. Deadshot.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say this. I know some people may say, well, the fact that he's scared of rats is kind of sissy. I'm going to say this. There was another major character in another movie that just about everybody loves. I think it's pretty much universally accepted. Can I say Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? Dr. Henry Jones Sr., played by Sean Connery, had a phobia of rats as well.
Yeah.
So
I'll be honest, I don't like rats, spiders, or snakes.
I don't.
Same here, Tim. Same here.
But I have to admit, the rats, or at least the one rat that Ratcatcher keeps around her, he was kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Sebastian was cute. He was.
Wait, have we talked about King Shark at all yet? Because
a little, but we can talk. We can jump into him there. Jump into his character. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought he was just a amazing little comic relief. Kids are going to love him if parents are willing to let their kids watch the gore of this film. Which this movie, like I'll let my kids watch. Like I have no problem. Gore, the
I grew up
sexual
watching
element,
movies like
nudity,
this.
whatever. It's brief. So yeah, I'm totally
It's
on board
like
with
super-
seeing this kind of stuff and. Yeah, I think this would go well over with kids. Better than the other incarnations of King Shark. I don't know about the game coming out, but like he's in the Suicide Squad cartoon. The Batman Arkham Escape from Arkham, I think. And then the Constantine Justice League Dark Apocalypse movie. Those are two kind of different.
Yeah, I
He's
do
in the
remember that.
CW.
This one being kind of a dumb, kind of Groot, kind of juvenile, like a Frankenstein kind of element to him of not being fully mentally developed. Thought that was nice, especially when he's like, "Oh, I found friends," and then like they're alien piranha,
Evil
things.
little monsters.
This guy cannot win. This poor shark, you think he's just a bloodthirsty, brainless, but he just wants friends, and he wants nom noms and
Noms.
and the fact that it's Rambo doing the voice. He's like nom nom. He's like, you're really thinking about that right now? Like
He's always
Yeah.
He's always hungry.
Tim brings this up. He's in the CW against Flash.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. I said this a few weeks ago. The Flash has the weakest rogues gallery of any DC superhero ever, but just on his own, King Shark in this movie, I loved King Shark in this movie. I did. His whole dynamic, he just, like you said, he just wants friends. He just wants people to be around him and just to have people that care about him, and it's simple. But it's sometimes the simplest want is the best kind. And I think in a lot of ways, King Shark is kind of not so much the heart, but he's the second heart of the Suicide Squad. I think the main heart is, of course, the relationship between Bloodsport. Excuse me, I keep calling him Bloodshot. Bloodsport.
That's a big Diesel movie.
did anyone notice his mask? It looks like an alien xenomorph.
Yeah, it does.
It kind of did, yeah, with the jawbone at the bottom. Yeah, I noticed that.
How is this not copyright with Disney or something?
I have no idea. Maybe because he didn't wear it very often. But I have to say, the one I did have a feeling was Polka Dot Man. I don't heart Polka Dot Man, but I really, really liked this character. I liked his dynamic. And how he just goes on that rant about Milton. It just made me laugh. I mean, seeing this guy playing there, he gets shot.
Did he freeze?
Oh, I thought that was just me. I always have a bad connection sometimes.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go along with it.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
We hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. Did y'all hear what I said about
You're talking about
Milton?
Milton and Polka Dot Man. Milton, Polka Dot Man. Stuff about those two.
Then you froze right after
Yeah.
you got into it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, what happened? When Milton gets shot and Polka Dot Man just goes on that rant, and he's like, "This guy's been with us since the whole time, and you don't even know his name or even care about him." And Harley's like, "Who's Milton?" He's like, "He's right there. He's laying there dead. Don't you all even care?" And then, of course, Harley calls Bloodsport at the end. "I'll be your friend, Milton." He's like, "That's not my name." And he's like, "I'm a superhero," and then he gets squashed by Starro, and I'm like,
Yeah, see when it came down to those last people, I thought Polka Dot Man with his power would just like destroy Starro, go like, especially when they like turn on those wrist gauntlet things, and then he gets crushed. And I'm like, how are they gonna beat this thing now? And then like the spear comes into play. I'm like, oh, I didn't really think that would matter that much, but
yeah,
it's just his mother. His mother.
Yeah. I think they're all kind of dealing with like confident issues.
Yeah. 2 seconds, guys, just real quick. Marcus, with all due respect, every time you come in here, you ask me about something about Marvel. I don't always talk about Marvel. Tonight, I'm talking. Read the title of my stream. It's called Review of Suicide Squad. Right now, I don't care about Franklin Richards. I don't care about Katie Pryde. And I don't care if they become lovers in the MCU. They're not even in the MCU yet. We don't have the X-Men. We don't have the Fantastic Four. So, Marcus, for the love of Pete, stay on topic of the stream. Quit asking me these random questions about the future of the MCU. Please.
What is
Dude,
Gamora?
we don't even have Fantastic Four in the MCU. We need to read Richards first. Sue Storm.
I am interested in the future of DC because I'm seeing this movie's only made about 25 million domestic. I don't know about the foreign yet, but this is going on with the new crisis being generated, start locking us down again, and it's happening in the big cities right now. It's going to bleed in the rest of the country to some degree, and so that's going to affect the box office. But I see people say, Suicide Squad made 800 million and it got an Oscar. And it's like, you got an Oscar for makeup because of Killer Croc. Like, shut up. It's not even a real. That's like a new made up Oscar. Like, shut up.
Yo, I saw an account like
no one
basically
cares
saying
about makeup.
I saw like an account on Twitter basically saying it has this many Oscars as like this well-known film or like this popular actor, and it's like no one really cares.
Oscars,
like,
the Oscars.
Tomatoes of that movie.
Nobody watches Oscars as much anymore. Anyway, it means nothing anymore.
No one cares. You know what? This is what I have to. This is what I have to say about the Oscars.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna call them a big pile of Macs.
I could do that too. Here. That's what I think of the Oscars. Or I could do this too. This is what I think about the Oscars, and this is what I think about all the nonsense that's going on just everywhere in general. And I certainly hope I don't get a copyright. I shouldn't.
So the Rotten Tomatoes critics are
I don't think you will.
Told you I got some new toys tonight. Sorry, Angus, go ahead, please.
Oh, I was just saying that the Rotten Tomatoes for the 2016 Suicide Squad is 26 for like the critics and 59 for 100,000 plus audience score. So it's like it's not like people aren't wanting it, you know. So let me look up the 2016 or the new one. What's the audience right now?
Yeah, the 2016 one, if I understand it, it didn't do particularly well. Or did it?
I don't know. I saw it in theaters, but I was like, what?
It made a lot of money because of Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was about the only reason. Hey, Marcus, don't get me wrong. I like talking about Marvel, but it's not I don't focus on it. Now, in a few weeks, I am going to be doing another stream about something Marvel related. We're going to be talking X-Men, but tonight we're talking about Suicide Squad. So hang in there.
Well, also 2016 Suicide Squad came out in August, and there's like nothing ever out in August.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I checked the worldwide box office earlier. I think for Suicide Squad, this one, it's at 70 million or whatever worldwide.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
you know what?
I don't.
Let me look it up. Give me a minute. I will look it up, guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I want to mention King Shark. He kind of seems essentially more like Hulk, like a pre-Hulk, right? And he's really strong. And I feel like the overall theme is people becoming like confident in themselves. And Bloodsport said he's not a leader, but then he becomes a leader. And Amanda Waller said, "I made you a leader." And then like the overall theme too with Amanda Waller, she's a cold, cold bee. So, but like I love the fact that they kind of see that she's going too far and they whack her in the head, and they kind of switch everything around.
She was unhinged in this movie. Like in my review, I said she's more terrifying, even though there's less screen time for her in this film than the previous film.
Yeah, who's that actress? But it's not Viola Davis. It
is.
Oh
yeah,
it
was.
Okay,
it was Viola.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Gosh dang.
All right.
She was rich.
All right. Here. I've got two different articles here. I'll pull up this one. if y'all don't like this source, fine, but I think it's one that'll work. This is from IGN. I think they're relatively reliable. They
IGN,
took
yeah.
in 20. They took in $26.5 million. So,
Like in the States
For-
or international, like all over.
I think it's just for the States. Let's
There's
see.
there's no international. Yeah.
Let me look up the worldwide box office. Hang on.
So I wonder how much money this movie actually costs. It probably costs a pretty penny, especially with Idris Elba, Margot Robbie, and
The budget?
yeah.
Oh,
Hang on. Worldwide box office.
I think it's close to 200 million for the budget.
Yeah, the budget's 185.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
it's doing
Okay,
very well
so
on
it's
HBO
okay.
Max, from what I
Dead,
heard.
here's the worldwide. This is from Deadline. Now they are very reliable. Suicide Squad misses. I'm not gonna say this misses the mark, but it makes 72 million global box office. I'd say that's pretty darn good. I mean, considering everything that's going on in the world right now. I mean, I don't know. This is from Deadline.
Hmm.
It says Suicide Squad misses mark at 72 million global box office, but I'd say they'll probably make their money back between the theatrical and
They're comparing it to as far as like right now with good releases, just for like Warner Brothers, Godzilla and Space Jam both made like over 30 million, but like nothing's really passing that. You know,
This is the second most made on HBO Max, behind Mortal Kombat.
Mm.
And this is an R-rated film. Like, some parents aren't going to let their kids watch this.
exactly.
Yeah,
Now,
the first
the thing-
Suicide Squad was PG-13.
Oh, yeah.
Now here's the other thing too. When people have seen this and they understand what's going on, parents might take their older kids to see this, but like their super young kids, no, they're definitely not, because there's just too much blood. But if you think about it, a 10 or 11-year-old could probably handle this, and most definitely, I think, depending on the mentality of the teenager, a teenager can handle this easily. So
there are boobs.
This could be like Deadpool.
There-
This could, like,
there's some
have that
boobs.
yeah,
word of
exactly. Yeah,
No.
exactly. And not to mention, it's James Gunn. Now, obviously, people are going to take the rating into consideration. Parents definitely are. Any responsible parent would. I mean, if we had kids, we would definitely.
It's America,
talk about-
right? It's America. The rating system is very strict in America compared to the other countries. In other countries, it's
Yeah,
probably
that's true.
you can probably see it at a younger age, except probably countries in China and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Is it playing there? It's not even playing there, right?
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't know
think
if it's
so.
do well in China because the lead is a black guy, so they don't like black
Oh.
people. over there.
Oh,
But I'm
Yeah,
saying, but
unfortunately, there is a little bit of a
I'm
cultural
saying
issue there, but
probably in Europe, some European countries, the rating is probably the lower.
yeah, in Europe, this thing has and most likely will do gangbusters.
Yeah.
I would bet money. And like I said, this is the first weekend. Now, yeah, it had kind of an underwhelming first weekend, but at the same time, I think as word of mouth gets out, this movie will have legs.
You know what
Because
hurt
you
it a
think-
bit too? The
Mhm.
Snyder people going after the film.
Oh, you know what? I have said my piece on that whole mess and that whole nonsense at this point. But I'm
I
just
think
going to
it
say
hurt
this:
a bit.
it will hurt it very little, because
Yeah.
let's be honest, you're talking about a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fan base for DC properties. The DC fan base is a lot bigger than the one than those that just want Zack Snyder to do everything DC when he's doing other things. Obviously,
It's Netflix, guys. It's your Netflix. Like, come on.
I
They
mean,
don't understand that.
no, I've heard other channels bring this up, and I don't want to necessarily parrot them, but I do agree with some of these other channels that have made this point. These other channels, they built their platforms, they built their channels around just supporting and boosting Snyder and DC.
Yeah.
And now that all of that news has dried up, essentially, they're just clamoring for anything and anything to keep their relevance. And what is the easiest way to get clicks? Be negative,
Pander.
to tear things down. And I want no part of that. And I imagine the vast majority of both the DC fan base and the people who support Zack Snyder, they want no part of that either. So honestly, any effect that the negative vocal minority has is going to be marginal at very best.
You know what? I don't call them DC fans. I call them Zack Snyder fans, and I'm not against Zack Snyder, but that's what because I like some of his movies too. But those people are not DC fans. I'm sorry. It's my opinion.
No. Well, and you know what? I haven't even done any of. I still follow people who support the Ayer cut. I support the Ayer cut, but I'm not doing any more of the. I'm not, as I said a few weeks ago. I'm not doing any more hashtag campaigns. I'm done. I'm not
disrespecting like some people some people disrespected Ayer's wishes of doing the hashtagging. They're having the event next week on the 13th or something, right?
Yeah,
and some people wanted to do it like hashtag release Ayer cut over and over for a couple of days on the Suicide Squad comes out. They're not respecting Ayer's wishes. I'm like, you guys, you want Ayer to have his movie come out? Respect him first. And if I was Ayer, I'll be like, if I was Ayer, he probably wouldn't call him out. But I was Ayer, I'll be like, I'm calling you guys out. If you respect me, don't do this. If you're doing this, you're not my fans.
I mean,
Also,
here's the thing. Go ahead, George.
There's a difference between pushing to release a cut of a movie that exists versus like changing a whole slate of movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's literally what like the push is at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And
you know what I would like to see.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
I want to say you know what I'd like to see is more Zack Snyder doing like stuff like 300 because he absolutely nailed that movie. Like when we were talking about like Gladiator and 300, how stylized and how it just like it set the bar for that type of stuff. He needs to come back to that because that movie is just like epic, high octane. It makes your like testosterone levels go over 9,000. Dragon Ball Z reference, but
I get that reference. But but here's the thing you have to remember: Zack Snyder and David Ayer are buddies. I imagine,
and James Gunn, they're all buddies.
Yeah, exactly. Gunn and Snyder and Ayer are all friends. I imagine. Well, I know obviously Zack's married. I don't know if James Gunn and isn't Gunn dating somebody, or is he married?
I'll check.
I think I've seen pictures. I follow him on Instagram. I see him post stuff periodically. I think he's got a girlfriend or something. And I'm pretty sure David Ayer. I would imagine
he's in a relationship with actress Jennifer Holland. Not married, but anyway.
Okay, well, hey, still. Here's the thing. I imagine all three of those couples are good friends. They all probably get along. They all support each other. They support their careers and so on. So for a group of fans to disrespect one actor or one director just to bolster another one, they're going to look at each other and say, hey, guys, even if they are paying attention, they may not even be doing so at this point. But if they are, they're saying, hey, our fan bases are fighting each other out. One's trying to bolster us, and the other one's trying to tear us down. I think if that is the case, if they want to address it, I think all three of them need to do a joint statement and say, hey, guys, we love your passion. We respect it. We appreciate it. But don't tear our friends down just to bolster us up. It's not fair. It's not right to the other people that are working their asses off to make these movies. Not to mention the cast who do these roles in these movies. And I want to say, wow, okay, I've not seen this name before. Gargantuan Entertainment, Gargunt's Entertainment. Good to see you. And unfortunately, Mr. Schumacher's no longer with us, but I hope someday we will get, as I have, this is one hashtag I do still support, even though I don't put it out a whole lot anymore. I want to see the Schumacher cut, Batman Forever.
I like to see that. I like to see that
That'd be
before
interesting.
it's not the air cut. Actually, I like to see the forever one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
same
crazy
here.
is I didn't know that was a thing, because the center cut overshadowed that, and that popped up.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I like Batman Forever just as it is, and it's like, oh, there's another cut. Like what?
Yes.
There's more? Yes.
Yeah, there
give me
is.
more.
There is.
I love
It's
that
all
movie.
hashtag Chip
Now-
Carrey. You think Chip Carrey
Well, that's right. I want to also add James Gunn wrote the screenplay for Zach's first film, Dawn of the Dead.
That's right, he did. Oh, okay. Okay, Garguns. Okay, gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. But yeah, these three guys are all very well regarded directors. They've had very good careers, and I want to see them continue to do stuff, whether it's DC or Marvel or just anything outside of the comic book movie genre. I just want to see them make movies and do what they do best, entertain. But kind of getting back on topic of the evening with Suicide Squad, I have to admit, I got a certain Guardians Volume 2 vibe from Suicide Squad, particularly with the relationship between Bloodsport and Ratcatcher. But also, I feel like there were other relationships in the movie, particularly between Flag and Harley. So, okay, all right, George. We'll see you in a few minutes, buddy.
Yeah, see you in a few, George.
Yeah. So.
No, yeah, they definitely had that dynamic. And then, I'm really happy, though, that the Weasel is going to live because he's super funny. Like, when they did that flashback scene where he's kind of, like, up against the glass and he's, like, licking the thing, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the heck is this thing?
Oh.
Like, that was great.
It has to be human. It has to be human at one point. Otherwise, if it wasn't never human, it would be put down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your animal lovers, but if it was never a human, it would be put down with not being in prison. That's
What
the only
about Rocket
explanation.
Raccoon, though? You know what I mean? Like, they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, but-
But Rocket Raccoon's a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, an animal,
But,
most like, it definitely was a human at one point, Weasel. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in prison.
Yeah, definitely. And I come back to the line. Didn't anybody check to see if the Weasel could swim?
Yeah. Well, but yeah. You know what's surprising? The Calendar Man was in the movie, right? For like 2 seconds.
Yes, I did notice that. Julian. Oh, what was the character's
Day.
last name?
Julian
Day. Yeah, Calendar Man. Yeah.
Sean Gunn, right? The brother. The brother played him, right? Was it the brother?
No. Sean Gunn played Weasel.
Oh.
No, but
okay.
but didn't Sean Gunn also play
No, he
two
played-
characters?
Yeah, he played
Did he play
Calendar
two-
Man.
Yeah.
He might have.
He did two characters. That's what I thought.
Yeah, when he makes fun
Wait.
of Polka Dot Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's something we kind of got off track a little bit. I really liked Dels Malchin as Polka Dot Man. He's actually going to be in. He's also going to be in Dune, and that comes out in a few
You
months.
know he's in the Flash. You know he's in the Flash TV show too, right?
He's in a lot of things.
He's
He
in
was
the
Dark
I have
Knight.
never, as I've mentioned before, I have not watched a single CW DC show,
Oh.
and I probably never will. I simply
he
don't
was in-
have the interest or the time.
I think me
He's-
and Black Angus just had like a Step Brothers moment. We both said he was in Dark Knight at the exact same time.
Well, who was he in Dark Knight? Because I would have.
Oh,
You know, when,
he was.
when
He was
Gordon
the
gets
one
shot
guard that
and
got
Two-Face-
captured.
Oh yeah, that was him. You're right.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah,
Harvey
he's
Dent was
also-
interrogating.
With the
Yeah,
fear
Yes.
from the
he's also
when he had the
Calendar
fear
Man.
toxin, right, from Scarecrow or something like that.
No.
No,
he
he's
was just
crazy. He's from Arkham.
Oh, he's just. Oh yeah, he's just crazy.
yeah. He was captured.
Yeah.
He's also Calendar Man in the Long Halloween adaptation that they just did.
Oh, and
Oh,
how
was he?
long? How okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Is he gonna be guard?
He's
Is he
all
gonna
over
be?
comics.
Is he gonna be? I wonder if he's gonna be Ant-Man 3.
Is he in Inception? Oh yeah, he is in Ant-Man also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the crew.
That's right. I think he is. Yeah, I think you're right. And Mega J1, MJ1 Media, good to see you, bud. He says DC has a character named Weasel. Marvel has a character named Weasel. Superheroes are full of weasels.
Who's
You're not
Weasel in
wrong.
Marvel?
You know what that weasel reminds me of is Ice Age. That if Ice Age, that
Scrat.
weasel,
Scrat.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
Scrat.
human form or whatever, like grown up form. That's Scrat that
Oh.
survived all these years.
Oh, Weasel's in Deadpool.
Is
He's
he?
a T.J. Miller's character.
Oh,
would have to
that's
see an
right.
image.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, he doesn't look like a weasel, but his character name is Weasel. Isn't that the one that says you look like an avocado that had sex with another avocado?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a bar. He's at the bar. He owns the bar.
He's the bar owner. Yeah, that's it.
the arms
Yeah.
dealer for Deadpool. Yeah,
Okay.
that guy's pretty funny.
Okay, Tim. Tim. Don't. Hopefully, we won't have to. Yeah, MJ. Thank you. He's like Marvel's Weasel is Deadpool's sidekick. Yeah. But I want to go around the horn. Favorite death. Who do you who had the well, Aaron and Black Angus. You give your answers, and then when George and Tim get back, they give theirs. So, George is back. Okay. George, the question I asked and everything is favorite death scene or favorite death in the movie. So,
Oh, you want me to go first?
Whoever wants to go first.
You could go first.
Yeah, that's a tough one. As far as like the death that I was sad with probably the most was probably Flag's death, just because I liked his character in the first Suicide Squad as well. But the one that I found to be probably the most hilarious was probably Michael Rooker's character.
Savant? Yeah.
Savant.
Like, that was the funniest because I didn't expect his character to, like, literally weasel out, like, and, like,
Be a coward,
swim
yeah.
away.
Mine is gonna be funny. Like it's not the most impactful death, but mine's Nathan Fillion's character. That guy was useless. I know he can just smash his arm.
Yes.
And he can smash body parts, but that's completely useless. So that's my funniest death for the whole movie. That's like my favorite death because it's completely useless.
Yeah.
Does this dismembered kid? TDK?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I don't know what
Your
his
name
name
is Letters. He's like, everyone's name is Letters, dumbass. Like,
Okay, Angus, what about you?
yeah, no, it's that one. Just because you're like waiting, like, what the hell does this guy do? Then he like pops his arms out, and then he's just like floating them out and hitting people. It's like, oh, that's all he does. Like, how pointless. And they start shooting his arms. He's like, like that was funny, but the best, as far as best is like having, I guess Gravitas is Polka Dot Man. It's like, no, like you could have single-handedly taken out Starro with your power if you just kept, shooting out the polka dots, melted it, and then he gets smashed. It's like, no, like because that's you're thinking like, oh, he's got his moment, and then it's like, how are they going to beat this thing now? So that was good. So it was those two for different reasons. One for impact and one just for like, yeah.
I'll tell you this.
It was nice to see Pete Davidson get killed off.
The one death I did not expect. I did not expect Reflect to die. I did not expect Boomerang to die. I thought he'd be more of a future character in this movie. Because he was in the first one. Yeah.
I was fine with that.
Because
I thought Boomerang sucked.
Because Boomerang is is actually like it's like a more well-known villain compared to the other villains, even on the sports team, because Boomerang's actually a very known villain to this Flash Rogue Gallery, right? But they decided to kick him out. So we know he's not going to be in any Flash movie in the future.
Thank God. Well, yeah, you don't know because it's Flashpoint, so it's time travel.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, the actor's not particularly a good actor, Jai Courtney, but...
I just find it funny with Pete Davidson's character getting killed off because I live on Staten Island, and last night my local theater, because Pete Davidson's also from Staten Island, 2 of the showings were sold out for like something special with like Pete Davidson. Like he, I guess, purchased the theaters for free showings for some of the fans, and like his character dies at the beginning of the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as
far as Flag goes, I was I wasn't a fan of him in Suicide Squad. I didn't like him in this movie, so I was glad to see him off. And I just really hate that actor. Like, if you ever watch House of Cards, he's the presidential nominee opponent to Spacey's character, and I hate that guy.
Wasn't
So
he?
it was nice
wasn't
to
he
see him just
RoboCop in the
come
reboot?
up.
The same actor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
altered
a
in
robot.
Altered Carbon.
Tim, we were going around the horn talking about our favorite death scenes, our favorite deaths. So, everybody else, everybody except for myself is gone. If you have one, what's your favorite death scene or your favorite death?
Man, I don't know if it was. Polka Dot Man. I was feeling for Polka Dot Man, and they take him away from me. I felt like he could have single-handedly destroyed oversized Staryu easily if he was just more confident. Yeah, Starro. And
okay.
and then but no, it was probably Pete Davidson just because it's Pete Davidson and he's kind of like just because he's kind of, I don't know, he has that face.
His death is like a Saturday Night Live bit, you know?
Yeah, I was not expecting. I was like, you have Pete Davidson, and you just like off him, and within like the first 15 minutes, I was like, "Well, WTF?" But I was like, oh, "Okay, I'll accept it." And he was a traitor, so it's like, "All right, that makes
How
sense."
did they contact these guys from prison in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Prison tube or something. I don't know.
Prison.
Okay. Now, I have to say, my least favorite death, just in terms of, because it's a character I liked, I have to agree with y'all. It was Polka Dot Man. He had his moment of glory, but it was short lived, and I was like, I know he's a bad guy, sort of, but he seemed like a decent guy, and I'm sad that he got squashed by Starro.
That was so
But
genius.
He actually got squashed by his mom in his mind.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Oh
thought
my
that was the
God!
funniest
Do not
thing when
get
he
me
was
started
dancing.
on that. Do not get me started on those scenes. I'm like, yeah. It reminds me, as I said earlier before you all came in, it reminded me of my ex-mother-in-law. I'm like,
Oh,
Judy? That was my ex-mother-in-law's name, Judy.
Oh,
Like,
dang.
But I
Oh
have
my
to say, it's not it's not so much my favorite death, but my favorite kill. And I already brought this up, but I'll bring it up again. When Harley breaks the guy's neck with the figure 4 when she's hanging from the ceiling.
yeah.
That kill was absolutely.
Mhm.
It was pretty cool.
The guy's checking his phone. That's what made it funny about it. So he's checking his phone too.
Yeah.
Well, let me go around the horn and ask you guys this. We talked about favorite death. Favorite kill? If you have one.
I just want to comment on something real quick.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Polka Dot Man, seeing how he visualized his mom, it was very reminiscent of Happy. Well, wait, was it Happy Gilmore where he sees the penguin where he's kind of drunk and everyone's the penguin? He's like, Mr. Penguin, I see what's going on here. That's what it kind of reminds me.
Yeah, I think it's not.
No.
I think it's Billy Madison.
It's not Happy
isn't it?
Gilmore.
Is it Madison?
Yeah,
Billy Madison. It might be Billy Madison because it's not Happy Gilmore.
Because I remember Chris Farley was in it, and Chris Farley was not in Happy Gilmore, but Chris Farley was in Billy Madison.
You are correct.
Yeah.
That's Billy Madison. Yeah. Doesn't Farley like make out with the
Yes. Yeah.
It's not my favorite Sandler movie. My favorite's
He's
Happy
like,
Gilmore.
Pull us
Yeah,
over.
same here.
Be quiet on the bus or something like that.
Yeah, when he freaks out, he's like, I swear to God, I'll pull this bus around. Like how fucking angry he gets.
He's like sweating too. He's like sweating.
He's a very dedicated physical comedian.
I miss
And,
Chris Farley so much.
It's
Yeah,
sad. It's sad
totally was.
because the whole route to Farley was, essentially his dad. He's always trying to impress his dad. His dad thought he was just a jackass.
I mean, that guy. I think that guy was the funniest comedian in the '90s, and I know I'm saying this like maybe exaggerating it, but I think he was the funniest comedian in the '90s. Chris Farley.
He was one of. Yes,
Yeah.
I will agree with that.
It's just
Phil
sad.
Hartman's pretty good though.
Yeah.
Who?
I mean,
Phil Hartman,
Phil Hartman.
caveman lawyer.
Oh
That's
yes.
It's before Tim's time. He didn't
That's where
know
Saturday Night
Parks and
Live
Rec.
was actually good when they actually had good, talented people in the 90s.
Yeah,
I love
once,
Jim
I wish I
once
did.
Farrell left, everything fell off for SNL.
Yeah.
I wish I'd had you guys
Yeah.
here a few weeks ago when I did my stream about the SNL spin-off movies. That was a fun stream.
Oh, dude, those
Yeah.
are really good or really awful. There's really no in between.
Yes.
Night of
Well,
Roxbury.
the four that
Roxbury, man.
I talked about was one was Night of the Roxbury, Coneheads, Blues Brothers, and Wayne's World. That was the four I talked about primarily.
Wait, you didn't talk about
But-
Ladies Man?
I never watched
was-
it. It just didn't.
Oh, you gotta
I
watch
forgot
Ladies
about
Man.
Ladies Man. When,
That's
like,
funny.
So, oh man.
Sorry, I got us
Yeah.
all off the topic.
No, you're good, man.
It's okay.
No. You're
organic.
fine, dude. Tim, you're
It's
fine,
like the
dude.
Snyder
Truly.
Cut yesterday.
Yeah, I know. We got like on tangent, and that's what we want to talk about. But yeah. So
But,
what
you
was
know,
the question
I have
again? Sorry. What was the question?
Favorite
favorite favorite kill.
Okay. So who's first, Aaron or?
It's anybody, whoever wants to go first.
what's my favorite? You know what? It's hard. There's a lot of good ones. I'll probably go with Sympathy Ambassador and neck stop and snap in the neck.
Oh,
That's
Harley's figure 4.
yeah. That's probably my top one. I don't know what. I mean, maybe Killer Shark with eating that guy. Num num.
Oh
Splits them
yeah.
apart?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one too.
That's a good one.
Oh man, yeah. King Shark just ripping a guy in half in slow motion.
That was apparently a practical effect that wasn't CGI.
Oh really?
I believe
Yeah,
it.
that's what Gunn said on Twitter.
Holy crap! I wonder how they like.
Oh, it's not hard. You just have to. The person just you just have a mock-up of a body, and you just make it where it can be torn in half.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They
Okay.
they do it all the time for zombie movies and stuff, so it
Yeah.
can't be that hard.
Yeah, Tim, if you want to see like cool behind the scenes, watch. I'm not a big horror guy, but the remake of Hills Have Eyes, they got some really good in-depth behind the scenes of like the kills and deaths and maiming and the whole prosthetic stuff. It's really good, really informative for if you're into that kind of seeing how they do those tricks.
Oh yeah, like
Man.
we did it when we did Matrix and Inception. Matrix had like some new things where like when Neo does the whole back thing, they had cameras literally 360, and it was like all green screen. And we kind of Darius shared or told me about it, and we looked it up and saw how it was done, and it was cool because they broke it down from first stage to second stage to third stage. And I like that stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, Inception, like the train, they had like a bus or something with like a train around it. That's how they filmed that those tricks. And then they had like some mathematical formula put in for the camera with that stare trick for how they like showed it. Because it's gotta be like
Nice.
precise where they put the camera when they go up and down. So that stuff's pretty cool. For me, favorite death or like kill. It wasn't like mind blowing or anything, but I thought like just the way they delivered it with Peacemaker shoots that guy in the shoulder and it's like non fatal. It's like exploding bullet and he's like boom.
Yeah.
And the comment after,
Bloodshot's like God damn it! Like
yeah, didn't he say if it's like bad? What was that comment he said? He was like if it's bad ass or something like that, or like, he's like he admits it's awesome.
yeah, he's like damn it, it was badass. Like
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
RJ, you
That's kinda funny
traitor.
because it's kind
Was
of
that
like,
Max's show?
Yep,
I knew it.
What happened?
I'm
But
kidding.
Max didn't like the movie, so RJ's probably like they're probably like going at it.
RJ's trying to be the support, trying to be pro. Yeah, apparently Max didn't see the tweet I added him in because he never showed his massive little ass. So, anyway, it's okay.
Yeah.
I got
That's
two
okay.
deaths. The
Go ahead, George.
So the one where King Shark like rips the guy in half, and when Harley kills the president.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I could. Yeah, totally. And she's talking to his corpse as he's talking to him as he's bleeding out, and I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say my second favorite is the one that Angus mentioned because like I feel like it's appreciation because they're kind of competing and like you see that scene where John Cena just literally chopping the dude on the table like freaking like a slice of cheese.
Oh yeah, in the camp.
Yeah. But my favorite absolute death because I felt like there was meaning behind it. Is when Flag. I didn't like it, but I think it's not my favorite. I think it's the best death because when Flag dies, he says those last words to Toilet Head, and he's like,
"Peacemaker,
peacemaker," and he says that line that's really powerful. It's like you call it. What's he say? You call yourself a hero. Is that what he says?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that's deep right there because, like, I was thinking if Captain America wins in that decision, because essentially, Toilet Head is in that position, like supposed to be like the Captain America, right? He's all about justice, but he's a little bit colder. He's like earlier that he'll do his job for the justice to save the many, right? But I feel like Captain America and Marvel would never like, he knows his justice, but he always asks the question why, and that's why we got Civil War between Captain America and Iron Man. So no, that's my favorite part right there, and I really felt that.
In the end,
it made you care about the character because he was like, "Screw this," I'm tired.
In
of
the
being
end,
fool.
They're kind of blackmailing Waller anyway. In the end, because for the freedom, if they didn't get the freedom, they would show it to the government what Waller was really up to. So they kind of blackmailed Waller, say, "Free us, or we're going to give this to the government."
And you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
It's a bargaining chip. It was essentially a bargaining chip.
Yeah. So, like, I have a question for you guys. How do you think some of these villains got captured? Like Ratcatcher, for me, I bet you Batman caught Ratcatcher. I think
Say that again, Aaron.
I think these villains. Like, I can't say for all villains, but I'm gonna hypothetically say Ratcatcher probably got caught by Batman because there's no way cops could catch these villains. It has to be some sort of hero.
Yeah, probably.
I think.
Well, Ratcatcher is actually, I can't remember who mentioned it, but Ratcatcher is like a low tier villain in Batman's Rogues Gallery.
That's right, because she's a thief, right? She's a criminal, but she's not like a vicious criminal, right? Like, but so
dude, watch them make an Ant-Man parallel film for DC with Ratcatcher.
Ooh.
So what I'm saying is she robbed bank. She got caught robbing a bank, but I'm pretty sure she's not going into that bank robbing it. She actually had her rats do it. So probably like Batman figured her out or something. I'm just hypothetically here. Batman figured it out and caught her.
Yeah.
Angus, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. Ratcatcher and Ant-Man crossover.
That would be perfect, though. It would be perfect.
No, I'm trolling Max while we're talking. No, I don't know what the hell we're saying. I'm just like Snyder fans need to let it go. Like,
so how did Harley Quinn get back in Suicide Squad? Who caught Harley Quinn? Like,
maybe she wanted to be caught.
I didn't even think about this. Is this after?
Yeah, it's after the first Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
it's a sequel. It's a sequel.
I heard Gunn didn't even know much about Birds of Prey.
Is it a sequel to the first? It's a sequel to the first Suicide Squad. Is this? I don't know.
I would say it's not so much a sequel. I would call the Suicide Squad movies the two that we have. That's more of an anthology.
Okay,
more than anything.
It feels like it does feel like a sequel, at least in the beginning, because
they
really
maybe a little bit
through, like,
because Quinn,
you're here for a sequel, so like how we do this,
because back Angus, Quinn and Boomerang kind of know each other there. They kind of when Quinn came in late to the helicopter, the first thing that happened was was Boomerang Day. Quinn, you caught again or something like that. Because
She has a friendship with Rick Flag.
Yeah.
So
And
Where was she late from? Like that's the question.
who knows? It's Harley.
Yeah, this is the problem with DC after canning Zach or whatever before they let him finish his trio of films with the Snyder Cut, which I do really like the Snyder Cut. I thought it's a really cool like Greco-Roman epic with modern heroes, but by not sticking to a direction and weathering it out and letting people grow with it, they've just because like you have all these extensions that are tied to him. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, at least the first one. Then they did the sequel to Wonder Woman, which is like it completely ignores everything established in DC, pretty much. Besides, Steve Trevor, and you got Shazam. Okay, here's the thing with Shazam. I talk about like one of the reasons I hate that movie is like I just don't like the character of Shazam. I don't like the happy like the old 40s character and trying to like channel that in the modern day. It's just it's a product of its time. Readapt it or let it go. But he comes in this world and there's a kid like, oh look, I got my official license bullet bounced off Superman, and I got my Batarang replica. And it's like the movie before in the universe is Batman Superman, and it's like I don't know if you know the Westboro Baptist, they got signs just like God hates F words, and stuff, and they got signs like that at DC protesting Superman, and the Capitol blows up. Like people today still, have conspiracy theories about 9/11, JFK, and stuff. Even if you clear Superman's name for the bombing that happened at the Capitol, people are going to think there's going to be a contingent of people who think Superman is a terrorist or that he's just an alien threat to be afraid of. And then the next movie in the universe is like, oh, look at my merchandise. We love these heroes. Yippee. And, Iron Man in Iron Man 2, like right away early in the series, they're like, look, we have the Stark Expo. People are buying Iron Man merch. He's on Time Magazine. People love Iron Man. They establish it in the universe. The whole DC is like they're not tying everything tonally together, despite all being branched off of Snyder. And now they're trying to go different ways. And this movie does feel like it's, it's adult, it's gory, but it's like its own thing. And they're doing all this kind of tangent crap. And this is where the multiverse is an excuse, where it's like, let's just throw whatever at the wall, whatever sticks will be canon. And that's the problem with DC. There's no fluid direction. And this movie is another symptom of that, where it's like, well, let's see how people like Gunn with this property.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he can have influence. Like he was a producer on Infinity War and I assume Endgame with Taika Waititi and the Russo brothers and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully he has that effect going forward with like Justice League movies or whatever event stuff. But it's it's like I think DC's just, besides Batman, is a weaker catalog to have fans, normies, really grab onto and relate to, especially when you blend them together like a Justice League movie. But if you actually pick a lane, this could work, and I think Gunn is a good step forward.
I agree. Well, and I've said this before, and I even did a stream with somebody you all know, Brian Hill, Master of None, when we talked about this a while back and everything. I'm a Marvel guy. I have been. I've made this point very well known. But there's enough room for me that I can appreciate some of the DC properties, but Angus makes a very valid point. As popular as DC is, and it is, you stack up the list of heroes and villains side by side between Marvel and DC. At least in the comic book realm, Marvel oftentimes wins.
I want to counter
because they have afterwards. A lot.
I want to after you go. I want to go. I want to give my.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, Tim. Yeah, just let me say this, and then if you look at the roster of Marvel heroes and villains, it goes a lot deeper than it does for DC. Now, DC has some good first and second tier heroes and villains, but after a while, it gets thin, and it gets thin really,
That's true.
really quick. Now, I'm not dissing DC. Don't miss anything.
Especially when the MCU took off and made those characters like Iron Man, Thor, even like Captain America, other Ant-Man, whatever. They made them more popular among the general public. It was among comic book fans, we knew about them, but among the general public, a lot more than what DC has done with their characters.
So, Tim, go ahead, please.
Okay, so my perspective on this is, as far as like Batman and Superman are the biggest well-known figures as far as in the comics or in known. Superman was the very first. Superman didn't always fly. It was actually Shazam flew for first, and then Superman later flew, and there was some big lawsuit. But what I'm getting to is like the DC animated series are far better than any MCU. Whatever they put out as animated stuff. Their stuff like Red Hood is incredible. Their video games are awesome. The Arkham Knight series, freaking the Avenger games came out as far as like the gameplay and story. I think what we're kind of more so looking at is like the movie stuff or whatever. Yeah, Marvel's had like 22. Like I don't think they had one bad film. You know, they know how to build the universe and build it up. DC was just trying to play catch up. They need to do their own thing, stay in their lane, like how Black Angus review said. You know, they need to be themselves and commit to it. You know, the tone was never the tone was never the problem with the DC films. Look how The Dark Knight set the stage. How good these films could be. They're the one, like Heath Ledger got nominated for an Oscar. What the hell did Black Panther get nominated for an Oscar? It wasn't even the best film that year. It was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or whatever, the animated thing. But I know those played down. But that Into the Spider-Verse, good. So I just feel like they need to stay in their lane. You know, take time to rebuild these things. Sure, I love Man of Steel. I know it's divisive or whatever because he was only Superman for like 48 hours essentially. And I want a Man of Steel too. They need to do that so they can show the dynamic between him and Lois Lane. And I feel like the CW show is doing a great job at capitalizing on that. I don't think the stories are necessarily better in MCU, but I think they've executed it so far better that Marvel is playing DCU is playing catch up right now. They need to stick to that tone. Like you know, Marvel is more like kind of you know, like cheesy sure, but there's a way to find that nice blend in between both, and I feel like that's what Suicide Squad did is execute both. It made it fun, but it was also serious. So
well, you know why though?
Yeah.
You know why? Because James Gunn he did a superhero movie of his own before ever getting Guardians. He did Super with Dwight from The Office, which everyone needs to see. Hopefully this movie will make people go back through his catalog and check out Super because it's a very underrated film. I
need to watch it. I never seen it before.
That movie hits me in the feels really bad. I love Dwight. That's what got me to check it out originally. And then
now correct me if I'm wrong, but go ahead, Angus. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, what I was gonna say is like this movie works because Gunn comes from Marvel. He knows popcorn success with obscure characters for a franchise with direction. So like he's bringing those skills to a jacked up competitor and giving them some direction, giving them some focus. And whether he makes more or if he's just a producer, I think he's going to have a good effect. In fact, Taika Waititi also comes over to DC and does like a little cameo. I think means that he's going to have some influence in film at DC as well after Thor 4 or wherever they go with Waititi's involvement at DC and Disney Plus with Mandalorians because he did direct the season finale for season 1.
He directed the episode for both seasons, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you did too. So, but yeah, like that.
Yeah, he did an episode for season 2. Yeah. Now here's.
Mandalorian, chapter 8.
I'll say this: the score for DCEU is far better. Like Marvel, their score is not as good as DCU, especially when you have Hans Zimmer. Bring him back for DCU.
I think Guardians is Guardians. I think Guardians has the best score of the MCU.
Hans Zimmer, Christopher Nolan, bringing them back. Come on, DC.
Now here's the question I have. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't James Gunn do Brightburn?
No.
Yeah. He
did.
he's a producer, and
Yeah, he did
Okay, he's a
direct it.
producer. But he
That
did
movie-
direct it.
Oh, okay. That's another gun-involved movie that Grace Randolph came at sideways. Like she saw it and
Oh,
said she wasn't going to review it. If you watch my review,
She
of
feuded with
Brightburn,
James Gunn.
Yeah, she has a
I
hatred
commented
for
on
him.
that.
She has a hatred
Well,
for him.
because
I
there's
could really
violence
give a
portrayed
rat's
in that
ass what
film.
Grace Randolph has to say about anything. not the fact that she's. It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with her gender. It has everything to do with her opinions and her takes. And I'm sorry, Max, if you're listening, I don't like Grace Randolph's takes. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman.
I do like Grace Randolph, even though she irritates the fuck out
fair
of me
enough.
sometimes with like her woke
No,
crap.
fair
It's
enough.
like she'll talk about like I think Thor 3 or Endgame. She's like blah blah blah, and then like there's like a little breeze of representation. It's like oh man, she's always got to detract a good review with like this representation crap of just like superficial. Let's plug this minority. You know, she's of that hive. You know, unfortunately, so that ruins some of her reviews.
I get what
She
you're
just doesn't let certain
for
things
me.
go.
Well,
Yeah.
and you know,
oh yeah, she
you know-
hates the Birds of Prey director because they had a spat or something.
Yes, they
And
did.
so
who cares?
she's never fair. She's never fair when she's personally involved. And it's like as a reviewer myself, I'm like I can distinguish distaste for like Mark Hamill. I think Mark Hamill's trash, but he's Luke Skywalker, so it's like I differentiate him versus his performance.
Exactly. Same here. Well, you know, I'll say this. For Suicide Squad, if they were going for representation, guess what? You got it. But as far as I'm concerned, I could give a rat's patoot in hell about representation of anything. I just want a good movie. And you look at this cast, it was a solid cast. Idris Elba, he's done solid work throughout his career, at least as far as I have seen it. And you've got obviously you got Sly Stallone doing the voice of King Shark. You've got I can't remember the name of the woman who does Ratcatcher. She was good.
Danielle McAlroy or something. I know.
She's a
She's a new
cute
actress.
She's Portuguese.
Yeah, she
right?
was a-
So her
she's
name
not
is
bad looking.
Daniela Malca Moore or something like that. Malca Hire.
Danielle McLemore. Is that
Yeah,
about
something
right?
like that.
You've got Des Melchin as Polka Dot Man. I liked him. I did.
You know, you got Doctor Who with the Thinker.
Oh yeah, Pierre Capaldi. Yeah, Pierre Capaldi. Yeah, I almost, I was like, okay, where the heck is the Thinker? And then I'm like, oh, he's working for the other guys. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
he wasn't actually part of the squad per se.
If
He
you
was
have-
just.
If
he
you
was
have a legal license
person.
plate, you die. Remember, it's like if you have a legal license plate, stuff like that, you die. If it's like, wait, no.
Oh yeah, Harley. Harley, yeah. Harley in that scene, she's like, "I'm walking back and forth behind you."
Yeah.
Harley.
It's like Brick in Anchorman. Where he's like loud noises.
Yeah.
That's another one I have never watched. I have never seen
Dude,
Anchorman.
you gotta watch Anchorman.
Oh, you
That
gotta
is
watch
The
it.
first one especially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
Number
them,
2's
honestly.
pretty meta about news. It's pretty heavy-handed
Yeah.
pointing out like the whole 24-hour news cycle. It's like why give
Oh
them
yeah, I can
what they
imagine.
need to hear? Let's tell them what they want to hear. And it's like, aha.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
The extended
Yeah.
cut is better. Like the second one, the extended cut on there is better than
There's
the,
an extended
the actual
cut.
one.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
Oh my
it was
God.
on
At least
Netflix,
Wow.
man. It was
At
good.
least, oh really? Okay, we
Or
don't have to
it was
hashtag
better.
it. We don't have to hashtag it then.
Yeah.
But,
We need an
you know-
Anchorman 3 where he's in the 90s when ESPN blows up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. Now, I will bring up this point, and I actually brought this point up. Dawson, Nuri Mainways, most of you know him. Well, hell. Wearing the freaking hat. He put out a comment talking about Suicide Squad. I think it was earlier today, and I put this comment in. I put my 2 cents in. And I said, we those of us who are fans of comic book movies or superhero movies, we have a very bad tendency to overhype things to the point where if they don't meet our expectations, we're going to be disappointed. And I think that is often a pitfall for those of us who do this thing called YouTube, who do these reviews. We sometimes get overhyped. Now, the thing I will say for myself, I reserved my expectations for this to a degree. Did I trust that James Gunn would deliver a solid, entertaining movie? Yes, I did. But did I expect him to infuse some of the characters with as much weight and as much character and as much emotional baggage, for lack of a better term, than that he did? No, I didn't. But I'm glad that he did, because I did to a degree. I understand that these are bad people doing things just so that they can get some time off of their sentence. But at the same time, I can empathize with them to a certain level, one way or another. So what I appreciated about this film was I didn't have super high expectations. I was excited for it, but I didn't lead those who listen to me and those that I am in community with down a path that made them overhyped for a film. So I want y'all's take on this. Do you all agree with me on any of this, or do you think I'm full of hot air? And before you answer, I do want to send a shout to the chat with Ferris, Ferris Geek World. Ferris, good to see you, bud. And Ferris, we will get to your question as soon as the guys get done addressing mine. So
might not be many likes, but there's an answer for that.
So go ahead, Aaron.
So, is referring to this?
No, my question. And then we'll get to Ferris.
With expectations, right?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We tend to get overhyped. We tend to get overhyped, and I think most of the time, in my view, when we get overhyped, we do often get let down. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, we get let down. Would you agree on that?
No.
Dos, I think. I don't know, man. I have to think about it more.
I'll answer it. It depends. I think it's very situational. Yeah, like certain projects we have like more anticipation for others. A product like this, since the first film to me was a hot mess, I'm going to be straight up honest. I thought it was pointless, but it was fun seeing these characters on screen. I had no expectations. I thought the movie looked kind of ridiculous, but I was like, well, I like Idris Elba in anything he's in, and I kind of do like John Cena. I like Margot Robbie, and it just looked it was a very colorful looking movie. And Sylvester Stallone, for sure, I love him in Rocky and all that. And now his speech from there always inspires me. I think it's in Rocky 5. He's like gives a speech to his son or whatever outside the restaurant, and that's super powerful to me. So there's very like different elements that got me to see this, but I wanted to like support the movie theaters as well. Yes. And I'm glad I did, because I don't want things to go stream because movies like this need to be in movie theaters. Like it's sure, it's convenient to sit there and watch Netflix and all that, but it's a whole different experience. See stuff like a Roman Coliseum or whatever, live action with everyone else engaged. There's a different aroma and feel to it that adds to another level of gravitas. So going in, I didn't have good expectations, because the first movie to me was a hot mess, and I was like, after I saw it, I was like, holy crap, man, they're onto something here. I see they have some sort of a plan with this trilogy or whatever they're going to bring to this. So yeah, I think it's very situational. There's certain, like, some trailers don't execute the marketing properly, but I feel like the trailer gave me enough where I did want to see it. I'm super optimistic about Ghostbusters. I think it delivered, so my hype's up there. So if it doesn't meet up to it, maybe it's wrong to get hyped up about certain things, and if it doesn't deliver, because ultimately, when you look at a trailer, that's promotional material to get you excited about the film, right? It's a marketing tool. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. George, Angus?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? I don't quite get that.
Oh, no, it's okay. Do you feel that those of us that do these reviews and so on and reactions, do you feel that sometimes we might overhype the people that listen to us and the communities that we are a part of?
Oh no,
To the point.
I
Mhm. Go ahead.
myself, I feel I myself am pretty clear in distinguishing. Like I don't know, I feel I have a responsibility to be honest, and so
Yes.
I always try to be clear in distinguishing my subjective takes versus objective, and like I love to be like comics explaining all this shit, but like I'm a normie in a lot of this. Comics are a new format for me for the last 4 or 5 years. That I put in time when I can, expanding. And so like the Suicide Squad, this movie, especially with James Gunn doing it, having done Guardians, I was like, oh, like, you know, DC has tried to, you know, rush to catch up to Marvel. Now they're just poaching talent that, you know, has been kind of outcast, at least, excuse me, temporarily, with Gunn's case. And now seeing Taika Waititi involved, I'm like, oh, they're really trying to poach. Which is what they do in the comic writing area as well, you know, back and forth with these writers. But yeah, I was not hyped for this film. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like the jokes aren't landing. The trailer just, it feels like, you know, they're just desperate for Marvel success, that they're just going to do Marvel, you know. And that's the reason why I don't like Aquaman or Shazam. Aquaman ain't as bad as Shazam, but Shazam's like really just like but yeah, no, I feel like Eternals trailer, that was very like I didn't hate it. There's a lot of mystery to it, but I'm like, I gave my opinion. Like, I'm open, I'm optimistic, but it was lackluster for a trailer as far as like.
I have to agree. I do. I really have to agree.
I don't know. I feel like I've been pretty honest, and being a movie fan, being a deep invested movie fan without like background knowledge or news knowledge before I got on YouTube. Into now, with this being like, you know, a big part of my life, it's very easy for me to pick a trailer and be like, that's going to suck or it's not. And like Suicide Squad kind of surprised me how good it was for my expectations. But yeah, generally speaking, like I'm like a 98% success rate at picking a movie off the trailer, good or bad. I'm like, yeah, not wasting my time, or I'm definitely seeing it. So it's kind of where I'm at. It's not maybe not a clear answer, but
no, I get exactly. I follow exactly what you were saying, Angus. George, I think you were the only one that didn't give your thoughts. If you want to, if you don't, it's fine.
For me, I'm always honest about how I feel about a movie or a trailer, and I'll be honest, I tend to be more optimistic, I think, than a lot of people when it comes to movies, when it comes to trailers, especially because there have been some like trailers or bad marketing for good movies. Edge of Tomorrow was the perfect example. That didn't have good marketing, but that was like a very good movie. So sometimes you just have a bad marketing team, but you land up having a good movie, and sometimes you have very good trailers, but then you have a bad movie. And
like Force Awakens. Sorry, go ahead.
And as far as me, who's still new to the YouTube game, like I'm honest in my reviews when I say if I love a movie or I found a movie be overrated. And when I put my review for the Suicide Squad earlier today, like I was very honest with how I felt. I loved the movie. I had a great time with the movie. I'm honest when I say like this is up there with Zack Snyder's Justice League as my favorite DCEU movie. Like it's tied right there because I had that much of a great time.
Yeah. And I think that's the key right there. And that's something that we often sometimes miss as reviewers and people who are in the internet sphere. We have to look at this thing from so many different levels because we want to give a good review and we want to give a lot of in-depth things. But the one thing that I remembered from last night when I watched this, and Tim, I'm right there with you. I mentioned this before you came in. I'm probably going to go see this. And I think me and Madam Ambassador will probably go see this in theaters at some point because I do want to see it in theaters. I think it would look great in theaters, but I was happy to watch it on HBO Max. I mean, I'm happy that I have access to it, and I was happy I got to see it. But I want to go see it in theaters because I want to support my theaters. I want to see what it looks like on the big screen too. So,
Yeah.
I'm a both and. I'm a both and type of person. It's not an either or.
I want to mention something here. As far as like we all have our different preferences, what we pick and choose, what bothers us more. That's what makes it great. It's all kind of subjective and stuff. And I don't think it's right for like people to poke fingers and say, "Well, this dude's a shill because they like something or whatever." I did a non-spoiler review, and I tried I haven't done a spoiler review. I'm supposed to do one tomorrow with Ninjoid tomorrow, but like I mean, we did it today, or I mean, we've been doing it, but like, when I don't like something, I don't review it. Like I'll go see it. Like, for example, I don't think the Star Wars films, the sequel trilogy is as bad as it's painted. I feel like it's over exaggerated, but I don't like the sequel trilogy overall. I think Force Awakens was very safe, but I saw all of those movies in theaters except the last one, and I was so divisive about it that I didn't review it. So if I don't review something, I don't feel comfortable talking about it because that's not my channel. So I'm trying to be a different market.
I try to review positive stuff. I try to review positive stuff.
I respect that. I do. Well, Ian, speaking for myself, and like I said, I try to give a fair hearing to everybody's opinion. I tried to be fair, and I tried to be on the level with everyone. And as I said, sometimes we forget to just sit back and enjoy a movie. And last night, I did pick up on things that I did want to talk about tonight, but I just sat back and I enjoyed the movie. I didn't buy into all the hype. I did like the trailers, more or less, but the trailers weren't what necessarily sold me on the film. What sold me was the fact that this is a James Gunn film. I liked the cast. I was familiar with the majority of the cast, and I was just going to go into this and just go in for the ride. And what I found during the ride was a lot of good things that I was invested in. I was invested in the characters. I was invested in the story. And that for me was what I wanted and what I got. And it sometimes comes down to the very simple thing. Did I enjoy it myself? And I can say with all honesty that I did. So I do want to answer Ferris's question, and then we may wrap up in a few minutes. So I'll bring his question up here. Hey, everybody, do you guys think that we will get a crossover between Zack Snyder's Justice League and James Gunn's Suicide Squad because both directors worked together before in the Dawn of the Dead remake? Gentlemen, your thoughts? The floor is open. Go for it.
No, but I'll give you hope on something. Next year, or maybe 2023, it's a little similar, a little different. We are going to get a Suicide Squad video game, from the Arkham games, them taking on the Justice League. So not exactly the same, but we're getting something like it.
Okay.
So if you're into those games, like I am with Arkham games.
Yeah, I love the Batman Arkham games. Yeah, the only one I didn't get to play was Arkham Knight. So,
that's a good game.
Yeah. George, Angus, Tim.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I think it's very clear with Snyder signing with Netflix that, and some of the things talk about the difficulty. I think being nice on his experience, the difficulty working with Warner Brothers, he's done at least for a while. We'll see how Hamada works out for him as a leader. I mean, they extended his contract, so. I think that's a clear sign of the direction on top of Discovery taking over Warner and whatnot. We'll see where they go. They want to go. They don't want to deal with this mess. I don't think they got a can of worms already with DC products and they're trying to go forward. I wonder what their involvement was with Suicide Squad as a product, because these deals get released to the public, a year or two after they've already been working behind the scenes to do this stuff. And so I don't know, in the future, if they're like, hey, let's bring Zach back or something, like have this kind of like a redemption kind of arc or something. Sure, LeBron came back to Cleveland, so crazier things have happened. But so I can't give you more hope than that, I guess. I mean, that is a good sign of hope, but I don't want to make it too nice an idea for you. Like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, I don't know, especially like we're talking about Snyder stuff, and now him and Ayer should come out and do a joint statement to like their respective joint fandoms in regards to like trashing current DC Warner Brothers stuff. Honestly, I don't think they would. I think they kind of get a kick out. Snyder did the whole thing with Colbert about like fuck Warner or fuck DC or whatever.
Suck it, DC.
Yeah, suck it. There you go. So like,
it was suck it, Warner Brothers.
That will hurt the relationship even more.
That was a quote unquote joke, but I think that was a very honest take.
Even if it was a joke.
Snyder said something about like if there was one frame in his film that he didn't film, that he would like burn the whole thing down before letting it release. Like I don't think he's cool with other directors. Like, I think he's got it out for Whedon. Having been a part of butchering his project. So yeah, I think it's like there's a real blood feud there, and you'd have to have like real change at DC. It'd be cool to have at least a separate timeline or do animated take for a Snyderverse. Like, hey, that'd be cool, a continuation. But because I do like what Snyder's doing as like his own iteration of DC comic stories, but the more control he gets, the more wonky the films get. There's still
you get it from Netflix.
Snyder cut.
He gets control from Netflix. So get control from Netflix. Warner Brothers will never use like even if James Gunn has full control, he'll most likely still get more control from Netflix. Zack Snyder, full control.
Probably. So
yeah, I don't see it happening. It'd be cool though.
Yeah. George, Tim, your thoughts on Ferris's question?
I would love to see it happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And if they ever do Justice League and Suicide Squad crossover, I think James Gunn is likely to be involved. I don't think Zack Snyder is likely to be involved. I think by that point they might have someone new taking over the reins of Justice League. But crazier things have happened, so we got to see. But it's looking unlikely that Snyder will be involved.
Okay.
To quickly touch over, me and Baxter came to the consensus that we weren't going to watch Bad Batch. As far as like if people think we're kind of like shills or whatever, no, I couldn't watch anymore. I haven't caught up. But I wanted to like it. It started off strong with the first episode, so I'll leave it at that and move toward the question. But so that's why I didn't I stopped reviewing it. I stopped going on Chris's channel, and I straight up told him, I was like, man, it's getting hard for me to watch because they do the Bad Batch Roundtable on Sundays. I was like, dude, I can't watch it anymore. So I'm going to stand my ground, the high ground on that one. Hello there. but anyways, I don't think any chance in, heck, that it's going to happen because like Netflix respects their people. Adam Sandler has like a 5-picture deal, at least with them. They're signing other actors. They're exclusively there. Netflix has a plan. They're still bigger than Disney Plus.
David Ayers has ever done work with Netflix with that movie with Will Smith.
Netflix is here to stay. They're going to give Zach creative freedom. They probably looked at the fact that the success of Snyder Cut, which I feel like they're kind of like, what is it? Warner Brothers kind of hiding the numbers. We're still kind of figuring out the game as far as like viewership and stuff like that.
It's going to come out. It's going to leak. Like
with
Tim, when you're saying the viewership, like I remember talking about the Jarbo in comments about like the numbers given at the time. It was like less than about 45 million, I think, subs to HBO Max. The numbers, it was like, I want to say it matched up with being like, I don't even know if this is like full viewership or just people actually giving long enough view for it to register. But it was like, I think not even a quarter of the viewership max actually watched the Justice League. So, and I want to say something else came out after that, like blew it out of the water. So it's like, especially for a 4-hour epic, it's the viewership actually wasn't that high for the Snyder cut. And I think that shows them like, all right, we got this thing out. It was good for pull out of our ass for Corona, but there's no real future for this guy's version of DC and what unfortunately, Christopher Reeve Superman is still like the pinnacle representation of Superman. I hate 78 Superman. I think it's awful. I don't care for that version, even though I understand it. I don't like it at all. That's just my temperament. I like dark shit, and unfortunately, like it does not resonate. People watch this and are like, this is Superman. Like, where's the like truth, justice, American way, like happy, star spangled, Boy Scout? He's not. He's disillusioned, and that it doesn't stick with people. So,
Superman 1 and 2 were good, but 3 and 4 were trash.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I own Superman 1 and 2. And I see
Superman Returns, that was even worse.
Was it the Donner cut, the number 2? They fixed it. I felt like it was better.
I mean, what was Superman Returns? That's basically Superman 5, and that was terrible.
I don't think it was a terrible film. I feel like it was a bad Superman film.
Yeah. That's where Peach used like the same like shot of Superman flying like several times. Like
No, Brandon Routh did a good job, but it was just like more so the storytelling of Superman. Like it was like more of a darker story of a man that was like this alien figure trying to coexist with reality. Like if you think about it, if you watched what was that? Zack Snyder also did what was it? They had a series on there, Watchmen. I don't think Watchmen was that bad, but essentially that the character of correct me, the blue guy or whatever.
Dr. Manhattan.
Had found that disconnect with reality and human being or whatever. And that's what I kind of felt from the Brandon Routh Superman. I don't think he did a bad job. It was just like, it wasn't a good Superman film, but it was an okay. It was actually, I felt like it was a decent story because Lois Lane had some like kind of like post stress disorder because she married someone that was a pilot. There was like more layers to the film than I feel like people are not giving it credit for. But I realize Superman would never leave Lois and go to space, but it was just a different take. I don't think it's a great film, but
Well, and to give Ferris, I don't know if you're still in the chair or not, but if you catch us on the replay, to answer your question, I think I have to agree with the rest of the panel, the guys here. Snyder has moved on to Netflix, and he seems happy there. They're giving him creative control. They're giving him creative reign and letting him do his thing and what he does best, and that is create interesting stories, create interesting worlds and characters that people want to invest their time in. And as much as I love both these directors, Snyder and Gunn alike, but in terms of them working together because they worked on Dawn of the Dead, and I'm not trying to dismiss your question, Ferris. Please don't misunderstand me. Directors, actors, and so on, they will have collaborations, and they may never ever work again, or it may be decades before they ever do work again. So, considering the tumultuous relationship that Snyder has with Warner Brothers and DC, I think Zach and James will say to each other, "Hey, dude, you go do you do your thing. I still respect you. I still call you a friend, but I can't really come back to where you're at." And as much as I want to see it, I doubt it. And the truth is, you've got the A-list of the DC universe going up against the D and E listers of the DC universe, and quite frankly, there's no real story
you need people. You need some heroes that could personally go up against Superman.
Exactly. Polka Dot Man and Shark would probably be the only ones that have a chance.
Bloodsport shot Superman, so
but like. That's true, but like, how is
that guy?
But
that's true.
What's the chances of Bloodsport getting able to shoot Superman? Like, it has to be extremely rare, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess
what I'm sad about.
Superman will learn from his mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm sad that they didn't mock Will Smith and be like, "So what are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?" Like,
I mean, Harley Quinn
Yeah.
could go up against Batman. Could
Or it could have been like, sorry, I'm not the Fresh
Maybe.
Prince or something like that. like
ooh,
we could
Fresh
chat,
Prince.
yeah. Yeah. Like sometimes
Hey, is it Fresh Prince Warner Brothers?
I thought that
I
was
don't
like Sony.
know.
Let me look that up. No, I think it's like Universal. Didn't Will Smith like do some deal for like or like a producer for Fresh Prince follow up or something?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. Unlike other channels who want to talk all madness but not talk any reason, I don't do necessarily movie news.
No, it's NBC.
I review.
Yeah, NBC.
Okay.
So
Distributors was Warner Brothers Television.
but it's on
Distributor-
HBO apparently to watch.
Yeah, it's on HBO. So it does have connections to Warner Brothers. So Fresh Prince of Death Shots of Fresh Prince.
But you know,
You're
I will
curled
s-
in the movie.
I will say this.
I think Ambassador's trying to wrap up the show. Let's have him.
No, you're fine, Tim. You're fine. You know, the thing, one of the final things I will say. I love this movie, and I hope it is successful financially, because I wouldn't mind seeing James Gunn coming back to do something like this. And I will say this: I want to see DC movies do well. I don't want it just to be all one-sided and just be nothing but Marvel steamrolling everything. I want to see somebody come up and make them up their game. Although they seem to be upping their game all on their own, perspectively. But I want to see DC do well, and if they can produce movies like this, and if Walter Hamada and all the other guys, all the other people over there at Warner Brothers and DC Studios or wherever the name for the studio is, can do that, I say, go for it. I will give you a chance, and I'm a Marvel guy, and I want to like your movies. And there are some of your movies that I do like. This is one of them. But I think as Angus has said numerous times, and I agree with Angus, they need to pick their lane, and they need to play well, stay in it. Quit trying to be Marvel. You're not Marvel.
No.
You're DC.
Don't compete.
DC.
Don't compete. Don't compete with Marvel.
Just
Marvel,
do, as the old saying goes, you do you.
Exactly.
I'll do me.
They
Marvel-
have screwed up so many times in the last like 15 or 20 years.
They'll never capture Marvel. Marvel leaps and bounds.
They had Dark Knight and the trilogy, and they never built on it, like to spin out into a universe. They just wanted to be contained Batman, which is like fine for itself. And then they did Green Lantern, which is supposed to start off. Before that, they had the 2008 Justice League, which is pretty much like putting a cartoon to live action. You just jump into it right away. They canned that. Then they did, the Snyderverse, and they chickened out after the feedback on Rotten Tomatoes and the box office underperforming the billion they wanted for that, competing with Civil War. So they just they can't. They have individual ones like Aquaman, but that's still a Snyder extension, and they've clearly shied away from that. So.
Yeah, 84 was trash, man. I didn't like it at all. I liked the first Wonder Woman. It fell flat at the end, but overall I liked it. 84
Wonder
was just
Woman,
like, gosh dang, what did they
Wonder
do?
Woman 2017 was amazing.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'm going to give a bit of a hot take, and I just want to say a quick shout out to the chat. Press Play Streaming Studios, Alan. Good to see you, bud. Glad you tuned in. We're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. But hey, Alan, good to see you again, bud. And I did bring up Ferris's question here, or comment. I like seeing Star Wars the Conqueror for the first time in live action. How do you guys think the Justice League would fight him in live action? Would it be
Superman
like
just needs to punch him, knock him out, done.
I would say it's going to be Diana holding him down with the lasso of truth. It's going to be Diana and the Green Lantern restraining him. And then it's going to be Batman figuring out a way to pierce him from one side and Superman piercing from another side. And they just explode him from the inside out, kind of like what they did in Suicide Squad. And it worked.
Saying it's the Flash. It's the Flash that flies right through his heart.
That's a possibility, too. That could work. Yeah, that could work.
I mean, but like, way for Star to win is get his little Staros to be able to mind control the Justice League. That's how he could win.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they could have made that character a little bit more like intelligent. I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't talk much.
Yeah, like I felt like they could have made him more of a strategist than rather just like throw out all these things. And it seemed kind of weird that none of them were covering their face, but all the members of what was it, the Suicide Squad were covering their face. You know what I mean?
I don't think Quinn was. I don't think Quinn was because
she put a thing over her face, didn't she? Or she blocked it, or she.
She was. Yeah, she was blocking.
But how about those military men? Are you telling me when those military men were getting killed by those Staros or whatever, they couldn't shoot any of those Staros? They couldn't kill any of those Staros. They're missing all of them. Like they must have some bad accuracy on those with their shooting.
Stormtroopers, man.
Thank you, Tim. You beat me by 2 seconds. I was about to say the same thing. Yeah. But honestly. Guys, thank you for being here tonight. Great stream, great discussion. I really appreciate it. Before we close, I want you all to plug your channels for anything and tell everybody where you're at, and if you got any upcoming projects that you want to make everybody aware of, and then we'll call it an evening. So, whoever wants to go first, go first. The floor is yours.
I'll plug mine first, I guess. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Aaron Entertainment. I do talk wrestling and pop culture and sports, but I haven't made a video in a couple of weeks. I'm planning to get back. A little small break, but yeah, just type in my name in the search on YouTube and you'll find me. Thank you.
George, I guess George will fall in order.
Okay, I'll go next. So my channel is just George. And I just did a review of Suicide Squad earlier today. And any upcoming projects in the future, I do want to rank my least favorite to favorite DCEU films and maybe get into reviewing some older films. But yeah, I'm just George. And as far as Twitter goes, you can probably find me as just George. But I'm also at George21Buckets just to make it easier.
Nice. Yeah, when I'm not in Dathomir fighting Rebel Scum, I'm on TikTok at Tim Possible Official, Kylo_Tim1, on Instagram and Twitter. And also my channel is Tim's Talk. I know it's Tim Possible. I like to confuse people. But usually I do a show on Thursdays. I'm also joined the Beef channel or Black Angus's channel, American Beef,
All American Beef,
the Beef channel.
I've actually caught a couple of those, Angus. I really enjoy them. So.
Yeah, they're very off the cuff. I like them. So yeah, they're at 9 p.m. ET on Thursdays. I'm still experimenting with my time frame, but I really do like talking about films that are kind of similar in their dynamic or kind of the same theme, and then bringing up the trailers to watch it to kind of live in that moment and just have a discussion about movies, like subjectively, like why we like these or dislike or what's our favorite. Because I love this community, and it's like fun to hang out with people that just love to talk about movies. It makes my day. It's just like we get deep and sweaty about these topics or whatever, and I oftentimes learn new things. The different perspectives is always great. And so, yeah, Ambassador, thanks for having me on. It's a joy to have a discussion with everyone on the panel.
My quest.
Yeah. I'm Black Angus, channel Black Angus Reviews. Like Tim said, we do All American Beef every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And here and there, I'll do videos when I have free time. I'm back to work though, so my
That's good, though.
That's good.
content will be sparse, to say the least. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter too at Angus Reviews. Yeah, just check me out if you want to have fun. I give you my opinion. I'm in the fandom menace. I think we've definitely lost our way as a collective fandom sphere, but I try to be my own standard bearer and tell you how I think. And I'm not afraid to call out people in my own. I'm not afraid of friendly fire. I'm a Philly fan, so I bring that kind of perspective to movie fandom, and I'm not going to hold punches because of a collective I'm in.
I can respect that.
Aaron, were you laughing at because I said American Beef? Is that what you're
No,
laughing?
I was laughing at what Ambassador put in the private chat for George.
Hey,
What?
it's just an idea.
George the Internet Jungle.
Oh, George.
Hey, it's just an idea.
George the Jungle. Isn't that a movie? George.
It is.
Brendan Fraser, my man.
Yeah, from the Mummy.
Hey, Ambassador, thank you for having me on. I'm gonna dip out right now. Sorry for
You're
lingering,
fine.
but,
Hey, Angus,
appreciate you having me
good
on.
to see you.
I'll come maybe next week. I'll line you up in the panel
Right.
for free. See you around.
Yeah, absolutely. You know how to get a hold of me, bud. You have a good night.
All right, man.
Well, and everybody, you know the drill. You know what I do here, and you know why I do it. Because here we celebrate pop culture, modern retro. Here we are all equal in fandom. No one is better than the other. And here we are all ambassadors. So you may come in as a stranger, or you may come in as a friend, but you all are equal here in the ambassadorial wing, and here we are all ambassadors. And here we do not believe in division. So, regardless of what hashtag or no hashtag you may have in your Twitter bio or whatever the case may be, if you are a fan of pop culture and you love talking this thing that we celebrate and we discuss and we get, as you said, Tim, hot and sweaty about, you have a place here, you have a home. Even if we have a falling out, there's always a chance to make amends and to mend those fences. So, but I want to let you all know I will be back next week, Friday night, 5:30 Central Time, with the Council of Ones as we continue our review of Babylon 5 Season 4 with the episode Into the Fire. And then next weekend, I will be back with another Ambassadors Geekgasm review, and we're going to jump back into something a little more retro and not so current. And we'll be discussing a pair of films that are very not so near and dear to my heart, but two of my all-time favorites from the brilliant mind of Mike Judge. Beavis and Butthead Do America and Office Space. So
Yeah,
I hope you all will tune in. That will be an open panel chat as always. So if you want to join the stream, all you got to do is click the link. And if you come across this stream and you enjoyed the conversation, don't just subscribe to me, but subscribe to the panel, because they are all worth your time. Whether they put out content all the time or they do it when they can, they are worth your time. But until next time, you all have a great week. We will see you next weekend. And until next time, these are the Ambassadors, signing off.